Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the FewTrueGamers podcast. My name is Jacob, BestintheRealm Hodder. I am joined as always by Trollbeard.
Had a partner.
And Bob. Bob had real life stuff come up.
Yeah, work.
Yep, pretty much. So it's just us two. You're stuck with us. So I've played a few things. Troll's played a few things. A few things of news have happened. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about a few things. It's going to take us... Who the fuck knows how long to talk about it all?
Yeah,
way too long.
Tangents always happen. I'm a very guilty man about that.
Those do occasionally happen, yeah.
You know, for some reason that just reminded me of Wild Tangent. Do you remember the days of installable Flash games and Shockwave?
Of course.
I just remember, like, wow, what a weird thing that people used to install that and play these garbage games.
Yeah, but they weren't garbage games. We didn't know that. No, maybe,
I knew at the time.
You did, yeah.
But there was actually a few that were cool back in the day, but I just remember, like, ooh, I gotta download the Shockwave Flash player.
Right. And then I'm going to play this terrible game for like 10 minutes. I think that might be why I don't like mobile games, because I never enjoyed those Flash games.
Yeah, there was a handful that I came across. And oddly enough, at the time when I really checked out Flash games, like the only ones that ever really kept my interest were all the weird porn ones I came across.
All right, next topic.
Well, just because they were just so bizarre. Like some of the things you ended up having to do in some of these things, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? I can't stop. Like, I've got to see how this wraps up.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing indeed?
Yeah. Don't tell the teacher that's literally looking at me from across the room.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Like I knew how to get through any of like the school safe search filtering when I was in like middle school and later just out there being a savage. It's like, hey, aren't you supposed to be writing a report? Yeah, but I ain't.
Speaking of old things from back in the day, my buddy, I just call him Jim. He, dude was a meme machine before memes were a thing. Because I remember it was on some video we were watching today. It was some old school video. It's like an old Polish song or something. And it's this anime girl twirling a stick like Farfetch'd carries. And like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This is an old as fuck internet thing. And like, yeah, it just took me 20 minutes. I was like, what is this? I have to find this. And I finally found it. But he showed it to me like years ago. He's also why I know about Red versus Blue and Rooster Teeth and all that.
Yeah.
It was just like an old ass meme that all of a sudden came back to me. It was a meme before memes were memes.
Yeah, don't let your memes be memes, kid.
That's right. So this week, me and you, we both have updates on our addictions to Destiny and Fortnite.
Yeah.
I played a bunch of Destiny. I played a bunch of Dreaming City. Just today, actually, my brother and my dad took me through. You can go into the raid, and there's like a secret area where you can shoot a bunch of little things, and you can activate a chest that's like way off in the middle of nowhere. So you have to climb up a bunch of things and get to the chest. And of course, I just got like really boring arm piece. My one brother that wasn't even there, we just ran his character through, got a really cool rocket launcher and a really cool mod. And I think everybody else just got a bunch of junk. But yeah, you can pretty much farm these chests, but I don't know. I don't get that part of Destiny where people just do stuff like that. Like, I'm going to sit here, do this puzzle for 20 minutes, and then do this annoying jumping puzzle to get 8 pieces of decent gear. I don't understand that. For me, what I have on the screen right now is the Blind Well. It's a new area in the Dreaming City I did a bunch of. And it's this really neat mechanic of you have to kill specific enemies that drop the Harmony Orb that will then let you damage everything else. And you can do this up to level 3 and get better and better gear. That's what I like doing. I would much rather get gear doing this, even though it probably realistically takes longer. But I've got some really good weapons during Iron Banner, the big PvP event. I got the Claws of the Wolf, which is a fantastic pulse rifle. I got first place in Crucible today in Rumble. That was kind of cool. Apparently,
Yeah.
I'm better at Crucible on Xbox. I'm not really sure why. I guess I'm more accurate with the controller.
Well, one of my biggest gripes with Destiny is
Ah,
the
that's right.
is the absolute insane levels of magnetism on the aim assist.
Yeah,
Like it is egregious. Like just how hard lock on sometimes the aim assist behaves. But also, you know, you got to think of like the general skill levels and like the gap between the worst and the best player can be
yeah,
way higher on a mouse and keyboard than a controller.
absolutely. And
Not to take into account the fucks you run into occasionally that bought an adapter.
yeah, I kind of want to run an Xbox controller on PC just to see what happens.
People do. Like there's a lot of people that I know that were like a console player
I hope,
that prefers like the
yeah,
actual like options and performance of the PC that still use a controller.
I hope Bob doesn't listen to this. That's just gonna make him angry. Controller
I
on
was like,
PC? Hell no.
it's like, hey, just do the thing that you enjoy. Like, what works for you?
Pretty much. But yeah, I've done a bunch of Dreaming City stuff. I got my light level a lot higher. Played a lot more Gambit. Uh, I'm still enjoying it, man. Like I'm still. Everyone keeps saying the loot pool is really shallow, but I'm also like a lot of times when I hear stuff like that, like oh, there's not a whole lot to the loot pool. It's these people that are playing it for like 100 hours a
Yeah,
week.
that's the thing is like I said before earlier this week when Destiny kind of came back up on the Discord. It's like my friends that were really big into Destiny are the reason why I realized like there's nothing here for me
Are
is
you?
because they're
Would you
just
play it for 100 hours a week?
if I thought it was worthwhile, like like
I don't.
I've played Fortnite for 100 hours in a week.
I don't think I'll ever play a game like that. That's just not me, I guess.
Yeah, well, also it depends on like what are my time frames looking like.
Yeah,
Like I took a vacation for when Elder Scrolls Skyrim first came out,
sure.
and now like 100 hours is kind of like real hard to do in a week unless that's the only thing you're doing. Like you wake up, hit the grind, get started. Because in that 7 days, by the time I got to work, I had already put 100 hours into Skyrim in that 7 days off
Right.
from work. But but
Now,
yeah, like I said, I've jumped on and like when I was big into Siege, I'd play 5 to 7 hours a night. But I
yeah,
had a regular crew. But there are
right.
people I know that literally play 5 to 12 hours a day on Destiny, and they're the biggest complainers. It's like the meme picture of a guy on Steam saying this game's terrible,
But that
and on his
happens.
profile it has
Yeah,
1,000 hours on hand.
that
It's,
happens, and I'll never get that mentality. Because
yeah,
for
people
me,
burn themselves out.
yeah, for me, like I'll play Destiny a lot, but that's probably like 15 to 20 hours, maybe for me.
Yeah,
That's like nothing for most people. That's nothing for like my dad and my brothers who play it all the time. Like I can't do it. I gotta play Graveyard Keeper or something else than anything. Like I don't think I'll honestly ever play a game that much. But like you said earlier, like if that's something you like doing, then do it. Good on you. It's just
yeah. Some people do it to a detriment to their own enjoyment.
and but
But
I
yeah,
did that for Destiny. When Vanilla Destiny was out, I ran that game into the fucking ground, dude. And I hated that game for a while. I did.
Yeah,
And now
you built up your own toxicity.
I really did. And I think that also might be why I'm not playing Forsaken as much as I could be. Because I want it to last longer. Like,
Yeah.
every time.
You were just eating a bunch of raw sushi and realized you had mercury poisoning after a while.
Right. Literally every time I've booted it up on Xbox, I've gone, I mean, I'm further on PC.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have to do all of this. And, there's a bunch of people on PC now I can play with, or I can play with my dad and my brothers on X. We need fucking crossplay, is what we need.
Yeah.
Because that
Who knows? That's not happening anytime soon.
No, I can see it happening for everything but Crucible, which would be
Well,
fine.
the thing is, like, it's not even cross-play. It's just a progression.
Yes,
it's
you're
like,
right.
why
Absolutely.
can't I just have an account, you fucks?
Absolutely.
Like, I can transition my my status from my PS4 to my stats from my PS4 to my PC account on fucking Overwatch.
Right.
What do you mean, Bungie? This is the same company.
Yeah,
the same parent company, not same dev company.
Right. If they said, and this would have been a while back when it came out, no cross play, but if you buy a $60 copy on PC and a $60 copy on Xbox, then yeah, you just progress on both. I'd be like, fucking done, sell me two.
account migration, because I think even fucking Warframe lets you link your shit up. Or at least they had you can transfer back and forth. I want to say
Smite did a while back. Warframe did something, but I don't think it was cross progression.
Well, I think, like I said, it was an account migration. You could send your stuff from point A to point B. It wasn't just a log in, play here, log in, play there, and
yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Because I know my Warframe on PC and Xbox are totally separate. So that's another game I would love cross progression for. I think, man, I wish every game was cross progression. It'd be so nice.
Yeah.
Like even Destiny, my buddy has this on Brian of the Larp Brothers. He has Destiny now because Destiny was free on PlayStation. It would be so nice if I could just log into my account. I mean, I don't have a PlayStation, so this whole thing falls apart very quickly.
Yeah, well, that's where the crossplay idea comes in. And we're going to have a big breakdown on that later.
Right, but if I did have a PlayStation or we gained access to another PlayStation and I could just log into my level 50 dude, I could easily run them through everything with my equipment, still benefit my character. It'd be nice.
It's just, unfortunately, the Sony exclusive stuff.
Oh, fuck that. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I told my brother today, there's a Destiny quest where you need to kill a bunch of Taken. And I told him, do this particular quest on EDZ. And actually, that was the Sony exclusive one. He was like, what? Like, oh, yeah, and that Borealis, that sniper rifle you have, that was Sony exclusive too. And he was like, what? That's dumb. Like, he got really mad.
Yeah.
And he didn't even know about it. It's such a goofy thing. Now they have like a really cool trace rifle that we're not going to get for a year. And you read on Reddit, and all these Sony guys, all these Sony players are like, sorry, we don't want it. We want you to have it too.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody bought Destiny on PlayStation because of that stuff. No one did.
Yeah, it's just a benefit for people coming here to begin with.
Yeah, if you were going to buy it on PlayStation, you were going to buy it on PlayStation.
But going back to like the burning people burning themselves out. Like I said, my friends, because I just have this kind of toxic memory of Destiny because, like I've mentioned before, I played Destiny at launch of D1.
Right.
And that was a fucking Mad Max hellscape.
See, I have zero recollection of that because I didn't. Me and Bob played Destiny 1 when everything was out. We played.
Yeah, when things were, I it hurts me to say good because I don't think Destiny's good. But when things were considerably better.
But we talked about that because
they fixed a lot of their issues.
I kind of called you out in the Discord because you said it was a shit game. And it's not a shit game. You just personally don't like it.
Like it functions well,
Absolutely.
but I think it's horribly detrimental to the people who play it.
I guess it can be, man, but like
Yeah,
so can World of Warcraft and clearly so
yeah,
can
that's what I'm
Fortnite.
saying. That loop, that continual
Sure.
feedback loop is known to cause issues for people that are susceptible to that. But again, it's just my whole argument was like this could be way better with little effort, and Bungie doesn't want to do that because it's that feeling of exclusivity. It's that feeling of
Right.
like really earning something. Because like I posted before when that happened in the Discord, it was like in the first 3 months of Destiny being out, like it was hideous when I was playing it. To where like I reinstalled Destiny like right before the Taken King came out. So whatever that Wolves DLC was.
Right. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So like it was right before the Taken King. They had already started like the first wave of fixing like their loot system and changing up part of the grind and all this other stuff. For literally within an hour and a half of installing it again, I got more gear of consequence in an hour and a half than I did the entire first 3 fucking months of Destiny. Like that's how bad it was at launch.
Yeah.
The thorn, like the stupid hand cannon,
Yeah.
like that quest to grind out was literally like 3 days
And they
for
still have
most
quests
people.
like that. But those
Yeah,
are the quests I like.
but well, like the exotic quest was like an idiotic amount of like PvE grinding, and then it also had some bullshit PvP grinding at the end. Like it was like multiple stages of horse shit.
It's
Where even
still
guys
like
that were
that.
like
It's
to
still
where
like
even
that,
guys
man.
that
That hasn't changed. But I mean, to me, that's one of the things I like about Destiny. You know, right now I'm trying to get the Ace of Spades, and that's a lot of that. It was get a bunch of kills in Gambit, and player kills count more. Now it's get 250 straight kills with hand cannons. I think the next step might be Crucible. Like, get so many kills in Crucible. That's how it is. It's a guaranteed exotic, and it's a very
yeah.
good exotic.
Well, I want
Where
to say like the volume of like kills or wins you had to get in Crucible was like idiotic, and my buddy who was going for it just couldn't stand Crucible, and that was the only thing I was
sure,
still playing Destiny for.
and they listen with that stuff. Just last week, or week before, we had Iron Banner, the Crucible event, and one of, or actually all of the quests. Like one of the things was get 250 kills in Iron Banner, I think, and you got this piece of gear, and it was a very desirable piece of gear. That would have taken a long fucking time, even if you're good at Crucible. And
Yeah,
they heard the community, and they said, "All right, next time Iron Banner rolls around, it's 150," which is a lot still, but it's doable because you have a week to do it.
yeah, that was like the thing with like my friends that are getting back into Destiny 2, and that was kind of like the crux of our initial like conversation was like I wish I cared
Sure.
because like you kind of feel left out, but then I think about actually playing Destiny and I'm like, where's the stapler? These genitals need to be connected to my throat.
But dude,
And
I
it's
get
like
it. Every time I have a friend that's like, "Do you want to play World of Warcraft?" and I'm like, "Yeah," but I don't want the fucking time commitments.
yeah, but like these are the guys, like I said, the thing that broke me, and I'm kind of happy Destiny happened to me because it really helped me realize the things in gaming I just want nothing to do with anymore.
Sure.
Is it was like right when Nightfalls started happening with strikes, and they had the
Right.
burns like solar and void burn. We did this one where it was like I think it was solar burn, and we were fighting the regular aliens, not the hive. What are the guys like the
Oh,
fucking
the
covenant?
Fallen.
Yeah, we were fighting the fallen, and like the waves of like the bad guys at the end shot like fire weapons. So it was just like an entire like 30-minute segment of guys that were just one-shotting you because fire weapons did insane extra damage because of the burn. Like I played it, it was me my two friends, you know, because it's a 3-man strike. And it took us like an hour and a half to beat this the one time. And then they both want to queue right back up for it as soon as we're done. I'm like, no!
Right.
Like, why would you do this? These are the same guys who used to run, you know, like the raid like 3 times in a day for each one of their 3 characters.
See, I won't do that.
And they would get mad, like, man, this grind's really rough. It's like, then stop fucking doing it. Stop fucking doing it.
Yeah.
You're the fucking problem. You're your own problem. Stop fucking doing this.
And that's I do draw the line there. Like one of the small problems I have with Destiny right now is the strikes you need to do each week to get your prime engram to get the higher level gear. It used to be do 3 strikes. Now it's do 3 strikes and you all have the same subclass, which is really fucking hard for me because I don't have voice chat on Xbox. I could if I wanted to dismantle all this stuff. And
Yeah.
on PC, I don't want to fucking talk to people. And,
see, that's the
and the text chat no one pays attention to. So it's like, why did you add that stupid little stipulation?
yeah. Thankfully, like, I spent most of my youth around drug addicts and selling drugs.
Okay.
So
you recognize the addiction?
well, I recognize the addiction, and also I have no issues going in and randomly talking to people because literally I'd be sitting at my aunt's house and there's a guy who just done like 2 lines of coke and was just there selling shit he stole out of a dumpster from a mall, trying to get drugs. Like, dumpster divers, man, they're fucking, you know, like ticks on people that sell drugs. Like, but this is before like a lot of businesses started like locking their dumpsters or like throwing shit in a compactor. Like, you used to be able to go outside of like the dumpster of a mall, but like a KB Toys or an EB Games,
Yeah.
and pick up like actual fully functional shit that got returned that they didn't have a box for. And you used to be able to resell that shit. But anyway, like
and I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind talking to people.
I'm super antisocial, but
right.
if I need to do something like that, I have the absolute bullshit gene. Years of experience of not getting stabbed.
Right. And I mean, I do sales and customer service and shit for a living.
Yeah.
So that's a big reason why I just, like, I get to the point where I'm playing games where I just never want to speak a word.
Oh, yeah. Like, there are countless hours when I'm home where, like, if, like, my roommate's, like, working or I just don't get out of my room, I realize, like, I just spent 48 hours and I don't think I made a noise with my mouth. Like, what happened?
Right.
But, you know, then again, I am also a rambling fuck if I feel like talking.
Yeah.
Because, again, yeah, I also did sales, both legitimate and illegitimate.
Right. Man, I'm looking at this Destiny 1 gameplay. It's the same fucking game.
Yeah. It's like the whole complaint of Destiny 1.5. I was like, these fucks, they really did it again.
They did. They really did. And I'm going to keep giving them my money.
Also, that kind of news story I saw right before we started of Bungie filing for a new like intellectual property called Matter. So maybe they'll actually do something interesting with
they have you mean other than Destiny?
Something people won't just stay mad at all times.
Man, look how good scout rifles used to be. What the fuck?
Oh, scout, yeah, dude. My friends were literally just fucking angry all week about scout rifles. But now the bows apparently are the better scout rifles.
Yeah, bows are fucking good.
Yeah, man, scout rifles used to be this shit. Like, I used to just roll scout rifle hand cannon.
Yeah?
And that, I can't tell you like the rounds I had of going like 40 and 6 on Crucible.
Right. Now it's pulse rifles. That's where I'm at. Pulse rifles and pulse rifles. Rifles.
So now we're Halo 2 through 5 boys.
Yeah. Absolutely. So how is everything going over the world of Fortnite?
Big things are happening.
Yeah.
The new season started. They've added a bunch of cool new mechanics. Now most of those mechanics are currently disabled because they were buggy and causing problems. Um, the center of the map is rolled into the lake, turned into like bouncy Kool-Aid, and now the start of this season, the entire like house that was in the middle of the loot lake is floating. And over the course of yesterday and today, that island just moved. It's traveling now to the individual runes that the cube left on the map. And now
Huh.
parts of where it stopped are floating in midair. Like that slow evolution of the map through the course of the weeks, through the course of a season, leading to a different event, is like some of the most fascinating game design and like compelling stuff I've seen, honestly,
Yeah.
ever. Like they've been doing the craziest stuff. Like when they did the weird ARG stuff for the last season, where they had the giant cheeseburger
Oh yeah.
out in the desert of
Is
California.
it still out there?
No, there was a sign on it saying it was like under investigation. The cheeseburger had suddenly disappeared because like some the most of the rifts collapsed, and then the cube showed up.
Huh. This is
Uh,
crazy looking.
yeah, there's a like the maelstrom there in the middle. Wherever you're under the cube, it lifts you up. So like people just glide around
Oh right, the
the
cube's at the
cube.
bottom.
Yeah, if you still shoot the cube, it like throws you across. So people figured out that the little bouncy pads, they've been disabled in the regular game, but you can still play around with them in the playground mode, which is what the guys here in this video are in.
I thought they got rid of
Someone
playground mode.
No, playground mode is still here. Like it was
Okay.
in beta for a while, but it's been like permanent now for a while.
Okay. That's good.
Uh
That's a good mode.
yeah, it lets you learn, let you practice.
Yeah.
So now the cube, if you shoot it, it retaliates. It like throws lightning at you. It strikes you with energy. Someone figured out like if you are like put a bounce pad behind you, shoot the cube, and the cube hits you with its energy, like it'll throw you into the bounce pad and just fucking launch you across the map
Damn.
to where like a guy figured he could go from the middle of Loot Lake all the way to that desert area you see in that picture and
Yeah.
almost fall off the map. Like the guy covers literally half the map in like 13 seconds
Jeez.
as this thing just flicks him. But yeah, you see on the mini map here all the little purple cube locations of where the cube was just rolling slowly over the course of the last few weeks of the last season, and it would stop. It'd make one of these runes in the ground, and there'd be an anti-gravity zone.
Hmm.
Now, where the anti-gravity zones were, they are supposed to have these things called shadow cubes, which turn you invisible for like 45 seconds, and you can like dash, like teleport dash, like through walls and in midair. Those apparently were having some bugs. People figured out ways to stay like permanently invisible in certain areas and other weird things like that. So they're currently being fixed.
Huh.
But yeah, there's just fucking crazy cool stuff. They added pets now.
I saw
Like
that.
you'll see some people with the random backpack on that has like a dog or a little dragon. There's a chameleon. I don't remember if there's any more than that.
Okay. Yeah,
But yeah, man, it's just really
it's pretty
fucking
cool.
cool. And, possibly like one of the biggest news stories in gaming in years.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shit
Uh,
game.
yeah, but the crossplay stuff, as you see in this video, like this was crossplay that was already enabled, was Xbox and PC.
Yeah.
But Sony said, "Hey, we're just going to crack the door open a little bit And starting, a few days ago, Fortnite is now crossplay.
Oh yeah, do we want to go ahead and talk about that?
I mean, it's relevant to what
Oh
we're
yeah,
talking about
absolutely.
now.
Uh,
But yeah, so
they
now the
did.
thing is, oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was going to explain, like, the thing is, like, crossplay is on by default, but it's not like you're just going to queue in with people at all times. To play with people on other platforms, you've got to, manually go out of your way.
Right.
It's not just filling lobbies in with, like, Xbox players now and PS4 players and Switch players. You have to, add people from other platforms on your Epic Friends list and then, join each other's lobbies. You're not going to go into a crossplay lobby unless you're already in a crossplay lobby.
Okay.
Unless, like say you and like your brother, say you guys both like Fortnite and he wanted to play on his Xbox, you wanted to play on your Switch. Now, if you were just playing alone on your Switch, you're only ever going to play against Nintendo Switch players unless you jump in with people from other platforms.
Right. That makes sense.
Uh, so yeah, also at the start of uh 6.0, season 6 here for Fortnite is they finally implemented the input based matchmaking.
Oh, really? Okay.
So now if, you're playing with a mouse and keyboard, it throws you into lobbies with other mouse and keyboard players.
And Xbox is getting mouse and keyboard soon.
Yeah, currently some of the like super early Xbox Insider people can try it out. Now, I don't know the full details of what mouse and keyboard level support
I'll have to check that out.
because Warframe is going to support it, but I don't know if it's going to be using it to play the game or if it's going to be using it to, type and communicate and do other things.
Right.
Because that's going to be at the developers level what they want to support.
Let me see. See, mouse and keyboard support coming to Xbox One. No update is going to add mouse and keyboard support to every existing title on Xbox. Yeah, developers will either need a patch in, update, or include it in future games. Yeah, Warframe will allow you. That's already for one of the first Xbox games. I don't think anything's been announced. Now, Xbox is doing the Xbox Celebration event November 10th through the 11th, so we'll probably find out more then. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty exciting.
yeah, it's much like the mouse and keyboard support for PS4 that's been there since like I want to say firmware 2.0 or earlier. It's been on PS4 for a long time. It's just again been at the discretion of the developer.
Yeah,
So like Fortnite, lets you use mouse and keyboard on the PS4. So now if you are using a mouse and keyboard on your PS4, you're only going to be playing against PC players and other PS4 mouse and keyboard players.
you are absolutely frustrating to watch play this game.
Why?
Because I can't do any of these things.
Oh yeah, like when I'm warmed up, if I've been playing this for a while, like I said, I'm fairly good. It's just
You're the type of player I hate running into.
it's just man, it's just sometimes like you take a long break and you jump into a lobby that has like the sweatiest try hard kids you've ever seen. Because now, like I said, they've implemented the matchmaking based on input.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't take into effect like the fair amount of people that bought, mouse and keyboard adapters,
Right.
which is still not the same because you don't have like individual like key binding and things like that. So it's not as effective, but you still have the increased, aim potential. You're just going to be more accurate.
Right.
With one of the adapters. And also, there are just some absolute savages out there with controllers.
Oh
like
yeah,
like so
like
like
you.
the games are way less like overbearing in my experience so far with the couple of games I've played. I've ran into a considerable lower number of people that have streamer mode enabled
Yeah.
because there's a lot of 12-year-old kids plugging in their Walmart Razer keyboard trying to start their YouTube career.
Right.
um yeah, there's a lot less of that currently in my experience. But yeah, it's just like this whole season already is art.
That's
I
good.
really enjoy it. When I tried out like, Paladins, or when I tried out Battlefield, I Battlefield 5 is coming out early November. They pushed it out because it was in between Red Dead and Call of Duty.
Right. Yeah. I
So
don't
now it's
know.
like November 10th.
Honestly,
And
as much as I should, I don't give a fuck about Battlefield 5.
yeah, because it's literally just more Battlefield. I
Yeah.
mean, you're
I just
you're
got
not
Battlefield
missing much.
1. I just got
Yeah,
Battlefield 1. I'm good.
other than like some of the minor like class changes and the way like the fortifications are implemented now, they've kind of
I played the beta. It's a good Battlefield. I just don't need it.
it's just okay. I've played this in every other fucking Battlefield ever.
Right. And then
like
the changes are like, these are good changes. Good job.
these are good changes, but fuck this game. Like the last Battlefield game I actually enjoyed was Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
I've never played that.
They're honestly outside of the weird like card pack opening like
Oh,
gating of
okay.
characters.
Yeah.
Like that's how you unlock your different like variants of certain characters. Like you have one version of each one of the character classes pre-unlocked, just default. But then some of the weird like so there's like the all-star zombie, there's like a giant football player.
Yeah.
There's like a Gatling gun that shoots like footballs. You unlock a card pack version and get the parts for the tennis star, where he moves faster, but his gun does a little bit less damage, but he can stay firing at full capacity and move at full speed. He doesn't slow down when he's firing.
Right.
So like there are some weird busted ass unbalanced moments in that game.
Yeah, I got a friend that's really into it. I gotta check it out sometime because I like Plants vs Zombies. I like that original game, and I like that universe.
Yeah, both Garden Warfare games are just really fucking fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
like I
you
don't
get
need
hit with
Battle.
some real bullshit.
Right.
Because like I said, some of those character variants are absolutely fucking are you fucking serious? This guy like is just there. You want to talk about a meta? It's weird to think that a Plants vs Zombie game has a meta based on paying real world money to buy random packs or just getting lucky on the draw. Like you have no way of unlocking these things short of opening character packs.
Right.
That part's absolute bullshit, but the base game is shockingly good.
Yeah, I
And they
think
also
one of
have
these days.
horde zombie modes, so if we can make Bob mad.
Right. One of these days, when it comes to stuff like Battlefield, Destiny, Fortnite, I would love to have a discussion with somebody like maybe like friend of the show, Nostalgic, who I think he's in the stream right now, and he's also terrible. He's a terrible casual at Destiny, like I am. But hopefully, we'll be playing some stuff together soon with some of his Destiny guys. I would love to have a talk on, and we're not going to do it right now, troll. I'd love to have a talk someday on like games as a service. Like, is it good or bad? So I think we've talked about it a bit in the past, but I would love to have like maybe a whole episode on that.
Yeah, because again, just kind of top level, like games as a service is anything just like DLC, pre-orders, grinding in games. Like when it's done well, it's magnificent. It's just they're so easy to abuse.
Sure.
To where again you get like hyper toxic communities out of nowhere, and you're like, how did this happen? This is just a silly fun game about little kids shooting other little kids as zombie characters. And now, like, they're shit talking each other because that one guy has the cool version of the super zombie with the laser beam fist.
Right.
That's just one hitting everybody and shitting on us.
Yeah, I feel like a game like Fortnite, like if they announced Fortnite 2 and you looked at it and you're like, oh, it's a new map. That's it. Everything else is the same. Do we get our stuff? No. Be like, fuck you. But if they're like, all right, we're going to do another 20 seasons of Fortnite 1 and we're going to change stuff as the game goes, people will probably be like, all right.
Well, you got to think about, you know, like games like WoW, or even taking it basic, games like Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Like Team Fortress 2, like there's
some of these
Team
games Fortress 2 is still around. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there are games that have, you know, had very minimal changes to them for over a decade and people still play them.
Yeah.
Like fucking Dota 2 has had one map since original Dota started. Like
fucking like Dota 2 indeed. Holy shit.
They've never had another map than the one map from Dota. Like,
well, they do have a card game coming out.
Yeah, Artifact. Which reminds me, I don't think we had it on the thing. I just want to kind of mention it. The Gwent card game, the Thronebreaker campaign, is coming out soon.
Yeah.
And it's like a giant like story mode, like story campaign for a card game. And I was like, cool. They said 30 hours of story. Cool. $30. No.
No?
I was like,
well, are you into Gwent?
I like Gwent. I don't necessarily enjoy like the standalone version of Gwent they've made, to where it's kind of like, you know, halfway getting into being, you know, like a Hearthstone or a Magic kind of game.
Yeah.
Like that deep deck building kind of stuff they added. I like the much more simple version of Gwent from within The Witcher 3.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of those things where I'm going to keep an eye out and maybe check that out down the line. But
sure,
the fact that they announced the price and the release date, and I was like, cool, all right, this is interesting. $30. Ooh, that's a no for me, dog.
Now, is that made by CD Projekt Red?
Yeah.
So you know it's probably well worth it.
It's going to be probably people. Really fucking cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super interested, to where I'm still like thinking like $30, but $30, you know,
I've never played Gwent. I have it on my Xbox. I downloaded it. I just never played it.
I liked it. Like, as far as like some of those card games go, it's fairly like reasonable with like the pricing schemes of what you can get from it and how the thing works. Now, again, it's one of those card games that's going to be perpetually still in early access.
Yeah.
Because I think it's still technically in beta, I want to say, even though they're about to release a paid campaign for it.
Right.
And it's not going to be like the paid campaigns in Hearthstone.
I would love it if the paid campaign was just a copy of Witcher.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we've given this out like in every fucking video we've made. I love that literally every time they've done something for like streaming or introducing a trailer or at the E3 press conference for Cyberpunk, like the front or the back has like a strong a link of a link of CD keys for The Witcher 3. Like they've given out like hundreds of copies of The Witcher 3.
Really?
Through all their different forms of media, yeah.
Oh shit.
There was like 30 or 40 copies that were just like Steam keys for The Witcher 3 during the like that CD Projekt Red original trailer for Cyberpunk at E3 this year.
Huh.
And then also I want to believe on the weird like crazy stream that went on for like 9 hours before they showed the gameplay footage. I think they also during that long string of code, if people were paying attention, they had a couple breakouts of like Steam keys. It's something to actually look out for. If you follow CD Projekt Red on Twitter,
Well, I mean, the
watch
game
some of
and
their
all the
videos.
DLC goes on sale for like $15 or some shit. And it's one of those games that probably doesn't need to ever go on sale.
Yeah, and it's always on sale.
I haven't played it because oh man, that is such a time sink. I'm scared of it.
Yeah, well, the thing is like there's almost nothing that's frivolous.
Right.
It's not like you're running out into the fucking Earth region to find spin metal or whatever.
Right.
Like everything has like a pretty strong narrative, reasoning behind it.
That would be nice.
So it makes sense why you're going to places. You have conversations with everybody, and again, like the thing I was telling you guys on Discord about how I think I'm kind of done with games where levels matter. The Witcher 3 is one of those games that, even though like I came across this like griffin or one of these other giant flying monsters I was supposed to hunt down, and it had the gigantic fucking red exclamation point saying, "Hey, don't fuck with this guy. He's way above your level."
Right.
25 minutes and some skill, I killed that fucker, because it's not like it doesn't break the entire game. Like the level gating is not like, oh, I just got one
Right.
hit. Oh, I hit him 40,000 times and took like a third of his HP. It's very reasonable and very manageable. It's just people get overwhelmed a lot of times at the start. Just follow, like, find a path you're interested in, follow it through. You may miss like 15 hours of game, but that still means you played 45 hours of The Witcher.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get it eventually.
Yeah,
So,
both of the DLCs are cool. The blood and stone, or like the blood and wine and the of stone.
right. Yeah, speaking of cool games, because we haven't even got into what we played this week. I played a bunch of Human Fall Flat today with my brothers. And man, this game, for as simple as it is so much fun. Have you played it?
Yeah, I played a fair amount of it. I
So
I have not tried the multiplayer yet.
right.
Is what I was trying to say. My brain gave out.
By default, I like physics games, especially clever physics games. I think they're just some of the best stuff ever. Um, and this game with multiplayer and all the little physics, like they're trying to move this board across. Oh no. uh, like it's just so funny the situations you get yourself in. Like today, we were trying to move the switch, and I stepped off on accident, and for no reason other than for comical reasons, I hang onto the switch, and of course, my guy's heavy, so he's holding the switch down to one side. My brother's like, I gotta switch to the other side. So he grabs the switch. He's just like, like, oh my god, let go,
Let go.
and it just goofy crap like that. Like, one of my brothers found like a way to go around and find another way in. So the one brother's on one side of the door, like trying to jimmy the lock, like with this bar, like, oh, I almost got it. And then my one brother walks in, he's on the other side already, and he's just like, what the hell? Like, it's such a great game. It really is. It's
Yeah.
super simple. The puzzles are really clever. They're very, like, there's no way you couldn't figure them out. That being said, there was one puzzle where we couldn't figure out how to get the platform down. And it is intuitive, but, like, it was like there's this ramp we had to walk up, but it was held up by these two posts. And we were trying to figure out how to turn the switch, which would open the doors at the end of the ramp. But also, how do we get up the ramp? Because these things, it's being held up by this post. And I just grabbed the post. Because literally all the controls are jump, put your hand out to grab something, and that's like it.
Yeah,
is like
pretty
grab and
much.
jump. So I just grabbed the post and I was like, guys, this is loose. So I just yanked it loose, and my brother yanked the other one loose, and the platform fell. I was like, oh, cool. So I pulled the switch down while my one brother walked up the ramp, and we left the other brother behind
Yeah.
because he
Never
wasn't
to be
there.
seen again.
Meanwhile, I look over at the brother left behind screen, and he's taken one of the bars that are really heavy, and he's wedged it against the switch so he can go through. I'm like, holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. This is like one of the most clever games I've played in a long time. And then just all this goofy stuff of like holding on to each other. For whatever reason, we busted a window, so there was a bunch of like glass. So I grabbed a piece of the glass, and I can't remember what one of my brothers had said to me, but I was like, "Get over here!" Like, oh my gotcha! And my arm swung around and grabbed the piece of glass. So I had it, I had it from both hands, and his head was in between them in a headlock, and he couldn't get out. So I'm literally just dragging his dude around with
Yeah.
this piece of glass to his throat. It was the most violent game, such a silly little thing. And then there's this catapult. You're supposed to use a rock to knock down these bricks, but you can just use people, or the person can try and pull the bricks out. It's just a lovely, lovely game. You can
Yeah.
do everything single player, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
Multiplayer is
that's
in
the
the
only way
game.
I played.
Yeah.
Multiplayer was new.
Multiplayer is fairly new, yeah. Yeah, the
I
physics are great.
did you ever play Gang Beasts?
I told them about that today. I don't think that's on
So
Xbox, but man, it needs to be.
yeah, it's on PC and PS4 at least, and I think they put it out on Switch, or they're going to, but it took them like 4 years to get it out on PS4. So who fucking knows, really? Yeah, the great thing is it's just like PvP.
This.
Yeah, it's pretty similar controls, absolutely goofiness. They've got online play already for Gang Beasts,
Yeah.
so you don't have to like get everybody in the same building. It works better. It is more fun to have that, direct interpersonal reaction. But like the weirdness of shit going wrong with the physics, it's just good fucking times.
It's made by different people, right?
Yeah, it's these I think they're siblings from like Scotland that make Gang Beasts. So it's like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, so Human Fall Flat is made by No Breaks Games. And Gang Beast is made by Bone Loaf. That's so weird because like the character models are very no way those games are made that quickly. Like that's
Yeah.
insane. It's just a weird coincidence.
Yeah, because it's like when Paladins has already been in development before what was it called? Project Titan, I want to say, got started.
Right.
The game that got canceled and then got turned into Overwatch.
Right.
I like that Overwatch was not their original plan, but then it worked out better than probably anything they could have ever wanted to.
But when Paladins came out, everyone said it's an Overwatch ripoff. They clearly just did everything Overwatch did. I was like, no, no one's that talented. Sorry.
Well, don't get me wrong. High Res, they're the kings of the ripoff.
But they do well, yeah. But they do well.
They do different things, but then they also change their I think we talked about it before in our Discord. It's like because was it Realm Royale is kind of already dead.
That's right. I keep forgetting that's high res.
And the main reason is like they can't just fucking leave that game alone. It's not like they're making like interesting decisions with changing like the world. They were like fucking throwing darts at a dartboard trying to figure out like what the actual gameplay would be. So they went from like the Forge was the only place to get like your super powerful like class specific legendary weapon to where then that became like floor loot, and like they just kept changing just the basic rules of how certain things, like it'd be like if
Sure.
Fortnite, like 1 week, all right, building, you have all the mats you want. It's just, guns don't work
Yeah,
now.
I guess
Or
like
like,
if you unless you live under a rock like I do, and you log into Fortnite, nothing's changed. Everything's fine. Why is that island floating? Jesus
yeah.
Christ! But
Well,
you
like
could
I
have
said,
never known.
that's interesting to look at. It's not like I
Yeah,
said, just the raw functions of how you do the game moment to moment. Where like
right.
fluctuating so randomly, so often,
They didn't go, we
and
have a bunch of guns with recoil. Now we're going to have laser weapons that have no recoil and overheat.
yeah,
And, like, that would be a bad change for Fortnite because it'd be like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, that would be something I guess Realm Royale would do.
yeah, because they had a much longer run up before public release with Paladins,
Right.
so they had already kind of like they had done that over like the course of like 3 or 4 years.
Paladins is good too.
Yeah, Paladins
And it has a good
is
audience.
Paladins has a weirdly like popular pro league that's on console.
Yeah.
Like what? Like
And
they have some pretty big tournaments. Like the payouts for competitive console Paladins is not bad
yeah.
comparative to most. Like we're not talking like Fortnite money. Where like you do
No.
poorly in a fucking Fortnite fall skirmish, you can still make like $8,000.
Right. No, they've
And
carved themselves a nice little niche. And that's good. That's more developers need to do that. Uh Another game I've been playing is Risk of Rain, which is a pretty much I would say like the first game that got me into roguelite likes, whatever the hell. Uh and it's just this you play this tiny character, and when I first started playing this game I was like, that's too fucking small. I didn't like it. Well, you get used to it really quickly, because the world is like vast. Like it is. I think it's done for perspective, because the enemies are huge. Some of the enemies, and like I said, the world is huge, and it tries to make it feel like it's bigger than it is. That's why your dudes are tiny. But you're running along. You find enemies. You kill them. You take their money, take their experience. I think the longer the game goes on, you'll see on the right side there's that timer. The longer you take to play the game, the more difficult it gets. So you are kind of incentivized to speedrun as much as you can. Point of the game is to get as much money to buy these little upgrades. There's a drone on the left side there. Then there's a mortar that'll occasionally randomly go off. A second one is a banner. Then when you level up, because you do that often, it will plant a banner that gives you a shitload more damage. And I don't know what the toolbox is, but that's a used item, so that's like something you could use often, or often enough where it cools down. There's different shrines you can find to, like, you can summon a bunch of tiny little goblins that don't actually do any damage, but you have to kill them quickly to get the loot they have. You can sacrifice some of your life. You can sacrifice your money to try and attempt to get things. But the whole point of the game, you're doing all of those things to become more powerful in order to find the teleporter, to summon the boss, to kill the boss, and then go to the next stage. But you do have to kill everything in the stage in order to do that. And the character that's on screen now is the Marine. He has like a shotgun blast kind of thing, that little pushback. He can also shoot left and right at the same time, and he has a dodge roll. And there are a bunch of other different characters in the game. And man, I cannot remember them right now. There's like a sniper character. But I played a shitload of this game on PC. I need to do more videos on this. I guess I've done none, which is weird because this was right about the time I started doing YouTube. I fell in love with this game. I guess it may have been my escape from YouTube kind of game. And I bought it on Switch. It's $10. It's probably the best fucking $10 you'll ever spend on the Switch. It's a fantastic game. Like I said, there's a bunch of other unlockable characters and stuff. It's not so much randomly generated. I guess it kind of is. But like this will always be your first level and so on and so forth. But there is stuff moved around. I want to see if I can find the teleporter. Or find him fighting the teleporter, rather. Shadow mirror. Create a shadow partner for 15 seconds. Is that what that is? No. And the levels are pretty big. Sometimes you'll find the teleporter right away, and sometimes you won't. So this is the
Yeah, I think
teleporter.
the first game when I tried it out, I didn't try it out for very long. I didn't initially like it personally, but I think
Yeah,
it's one of those games where I checked it out like in between games. My brain just didn't want this. I wanted the other
sure.
thing I was waiting on. I have that bad problem of knowing the thing I really want, but then I don't have the ability to currently get to that yet. And I try something else and I don't give it a fair chance. But yeah, the first game I played, like I moved to the right like 18 inches and found the teleporter. Like,
And that happens. But you know, like this, he has a whole bunch of upgrades. Some of them, I think, like the dice do extra damage. Your crits are higher, maybe. The health kit, I think, when you're out of combat, it heals you. The times two thing, I think he has two barbed wires, so when he gets hurt, it hurts the people attacking him. Um, I can't remember what the hell the guitar does. And he also has a rocket launcher, which just I think randomly goes off. It's those rockets that pop out. And then there's also like some things like you open a chest and rockets pop out of it and kill everything around you. But he died, so he has to restart. You start off from scratch. But like I said, you'll find different characters. You'll find a character that's more your playstyle. There's a bunch of different characters too. But yeah, it's my favorite roguelike. Like, I don't know what the fuck the difference is. You don't have to explain it again. I'll never remember.
yeah, actually, you know what I think happened? I think I tried playing this after Enter the Gungeon.
Okay, since it's on Switch now, which was just a random fucking drop for me. Like, I was
Yeah,
actually, it was in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep, and I was like kind of tired. Turned my Switch on, and I was just like, the fuck, like.
yeah,
I didn't know this was happening. I should know that this is happening. This is like one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
Unfortunately, I know I would never play this on my Switch
No?
because my Switch never leaves its dock, and I
Oh, that's
already
right.
believe I own it on my PS4.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I think I own it. I think I bought it when it was like less than $5 on a sale a while back.
right.
But yeah, like I much prefer. Like I think I played this around the same time I played
Sure.
Galaxy and Enter the Gungeon, and I kind of liked those a little bit more. Although Galaxy wears out pretty quick.
Right.
Like I love the base loop and I love the presentation, but it needs a lot more stuff to actually do. But
This
a
game.
game that's
Mhm.
coming out soon on the Switch, it's like on sale, like 10% off if you like pre-purchase. The Swindle.
Yes, that looks
The Swindle,
cool.
I am down with the Swindle. The
Oh, I
Swindle is
might.
like
Yeah, I
one of the
think
most
I'm getting that.
frustrating fucking games I've ever played, and I
You
love every second of it.
okay? So
Oh
you
my
talked
god.
about it on the podcast, but for some reason, I don't remember if you said a good or bad thing about it. Because I think you said it was hard, but is it worth getting?
Yeah, it's so like you're trying to you're just robbing everything.
Rob
Like
everything.
you're a thief, and there's different like levels based on so like it's procedurally generated each time you go. There's like 4 different regions, and they're just different levels of difficulty.
Hmm.
You've got 100 days. Each time you drop in a mission is a day. You've got 100 days to get to the end and do the big heist, or else it gets locked down forever and you lose.
Right.
If your character gets killed or arrested, you start over with a new character.
And does that 100
So
days reset?
no,
Okay.
your character model changes to the new guy.
Oh,
Of like the third area heading to the fourth area, and your guy you just had gets caught because you made a mistake and you hit one of these trip mines you see here in the video, or you slipped up and accidentally blew yourself up trying to break a wall to get to a vault or whatever, you're just like, fuck. Now you got like 32 days left, and now you got to go back to starting area to try to unlock some stuff to get a little bit of cash, to get a few upgrades, to then try to power through the lower levels to get the money to be able to have some of the tools you need. Now, there are certain things that are permanent once you buy them. Basically, they're just your access to the higher levels. I don't believe anything other than you unlocking the next zones is permanent.
That makes sense.
But all of the walls you see here, all the floors can be destroyed with bombs. So if you've got the right tools, you can, just blast your way through and dodge a lot of stuff, depending on how the level builds out. You can find jetpacks, little steam jetpacks to avoid, taking fall damage. You get an unlock to let you just lock onto a wall instead of sliding down automatically. And then once you're done looting, you go back to your airship, fly off to your dirigibles, your base in between rounds. But yeah, it's just really fun. But man, is it so easy to just fucking slip, fuck up, and lose a lot of progress and be so mad at yourself.
Yeah.
But the swindle is one of my favorite, just like drop in, drop out. Like, hey, this would honestly be one of the better ones of these types of games to start up for the Switch.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to get it. I think it's $12 right now.
I think, it's currently $12. And I think it's 15 when it releases.
Yeah, if I don't get it, it's going to be another situation like Dead Cells where I didn't buy it on that pre-order price. I have 34 days remaining. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to regret it if I don't. Because it looks like a game that's 110% for me.
Yeah.
It looks 110% made for the Switch.
Much like Dead Cells, it is just, hey, really high-quality run-based content.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks great. I'm going to have to pick this up. Let's see. So, oh, no, actually, we both played a bunch of Soul Calibur. Fuck, you know what I just realized? I never played Geralt.
Oh, that's the first character I played was Geralt.
I don't play Witcher, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, like I tried two characters I'd never used before. Geralt and Zasalamel, like the guy with like, the sickle.
And I will say, because I just said something that I fucking hate, that I don't give a shit about The Witcher. That's fucking stupid as a fighting game player, because I should have played him so that I know what to expect. Does he have like his alchemy and stuff in any way?
Now I don't know about the alchemy, but like his art, igni, like his basic, spells you use in combat are there. Yeah. I think when he blocks, I think he has an ability to hit Quinn, which is like his little like.
Looks like he did use his other sword. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So apparently, when he's playing, like if you were to fight in lore of The Witcher,
right?
As the silver is for demons and beasts, the steel is for humans.
That's fucking rad.
Man, I do believe he pulls out the other sword.
So what is your history with Soul Calibur?
With Soul Calibur, I played a lot of Soul Edge. Mm-hmm. I played a lot of Soul Calibur. I played thousands, literally, of hours of Soul Calibur 2.
Hell yes.
I think winnings wise in tournaments I played in, I think I made like $3,700 off of Soul Calibur 2.
Man, I wish I would have. The only game I've ever played slightly competitively was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And
at the time of this, it was when I was living in the Dallas area, and it
Sure.
was easy to just go up somewhere,
Yeah, it wouldn't
find
be for
people
me.
like,
I live in bumfuck nowhere, Florida.
yeah. Now I live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Arkansas currently.
Yeah.
But yeah, when fighting games were a massive part of my life, when I was like kind of cross competing between Street Fighter 2 Turbo,
Yeah.
Tekken 3, Tekken Tag 2, and Soul Calibur 2. Like I would show up to those different events and you do your buy-in, or it's just kind of like, wager matches against other people like at an arcade. Ah man, those were the days.
Yeah, actually Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I went into one of our local game stores and this guy I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because I was killing time because I was with somebody that was looking for a game. This group of kids came in and they were like, "Hey, do you mind if we jump on that? We always come here and play." I was like, "Oh yeah, of course." So I got off. That's all I said was, "Yeah, of course." And they were like, "Unless you want to get your shit kicked in," and I was just like, "The fuck." Like, who talks
Yeah,
to strangers like that? I'm gonna kick
yeah,
your shit in. I didn't say that. I was like, all right. So I picked the controller back up, and I can't remember who I played. I didn't play my normal team, and the guy was like, "Man, I wish we had some good players right here, not shit players." I was like, "I mean, do you want to go again?" And he's like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I want to fucking go again." So I picked Arthur, Wolverine. Wolverine? Yes, Wolverine. And Akuma. Akuma. Akuma? Who the fuck is Akuma? Akuma. And man, wrecked him. Because Arthur,
Damn near killed him.
yeah, wrecked him, didn't kill him. The thing is, Arthur is really good for keeping people the fuck away. This is what happens. So Arthur, you keep people the fuck away, but they'll switch between characters to try and get you. And by the time they've got you, they've lost a lot of health with their characters. So at that point, I have a whole lot of X meter. And isn't that what it was called in 3? Your super meter, X meter, or whatever? And then damage. So I wrecked him with that, and he was like, "All right, 2 out of 3." Wrecked him again. Like anybody else, like, "Man, no," and they left.
Yeah,
I was just like, I don't talk shit, get shot, motherfuckers. And like, I had a friend that was there with me, and he was like, "Did you just start shit with those guys?" I'm like, "No, I finished shit with those guys." So yeah, that's like my only fighting game story really. I did win my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament at my high school, but I did that through kind of bullshit with fuck, what's that tentacle guy's name?
like Red Samurai.
No,
Like,
the shit.
oh, like the purple kind of green.
Yeah, what is his name?
I think he's one of the guys from Darksiders.
No, he's a Marvel guy. Shumagorath,
Oh,
right? Is he a Marvel guy?
I don't
Shumagorath,
know.
blah 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 blah. Yeah, he was the first host of the Celestials. Ew, really? Yeah, Shumagorath is a Marvel thing. Yeah, I
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
did it
yeah,
through
yeah. Yeah,
bullshit with
okay.
him because he's a little bit of a bullshit character. But I'm glad what we have on screen is on screen right now. The searching for opponent thing.
Yeah, like the menus. I kind of hope these are like placeholder, but I have a feeling they're not
Yes, the
because
menus
this
are
game
bad.
comes out within a month.
The menus are real bad. I noticed that because it
Well,
was
like this network test was just a network test over the
absolutely.
weekend, and it had none of the training mode, and I missed the previous test they did like a week or two ago that had more of like the regular game features available
Oh, I didn't even know that
to
was a thing.
where I dropped in, and I have not like regularly played a Soul Calibur game since 3.
Yeah,
So like I went in there without knowing any of the moves list for any of these characters, without being able to look at a moves list.
not a lot has changed.
No, it's still the same thing. And like once I finally remembered like the basic rules
Yeah,
of Soul Calibur, like guard, horizontal, vertical kick. You know, like once I remembered what all the buttons were supposed to do, like shit worked out a lot better. But
Right.
then I came across this guy here playing Siegfried, who clearly knew what the fuck he was doing. Like, I gave him a run for his money in a couple of these rounds,
Yeah.
playing a character I've never used before. But
Zazlamel's really good. He's got a real good horizontal game.
yeah, so like Siegfried in this, like he's got this kind of like backstab move where he like turns a little bit.
Right.
And yeah, like you just saw him do it, where like the sword is just behind his back, and it's like a full extend. It's such a quick little jab
Yep.
with such a range. Like this guy was just like catching me with that. Like when I try to do something and just like stun all my shit.
I mean,
It's
that's
just
the interesting
angling.
thing about Siegfried, Nightmare, and Astaroth is they are bigger dudes, but if you know how to play them, they are quick.
Yeah, they move slow generally, but they have like very specific moves that happen fast that let you establish larger strings of attacks to, you know, queue up your big heavy slow move.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, like I Soul Calibur 2, Siegfried was one of those guys I would start up to just bother people.
Yeah.
Like I would use Siegfried or Ivy when I knew the person I was playing with wasn't, you know, at my level,
I
and
would
I
use
just really
Voldo
wanted
for
to
that.
bother them.
I think Voldo or Yoshimitsu were always my characters for that. If I ever, people were like, this looks like a really neat game. Oh, it's just like swords and stuff. Like, yeah, let me show you Voldo.
Yeah, let me show you weird French contortionist sadist guy. Dude, I had a friend of mine like it like we kind of had this mutually assured destruction that would happen.
Sure.
Is like so like I was a heavy Maxi main. I I I am a lifelong troll with my character picks for fucking fighting games.
Yeah.
I was housing kids as Eddie Gordo in Tekken 3 for years.
Nice.
I played Maxi, you know, like the fucking characters where I just mentioned those names to certain people,
Yeah.
and I trigger them immensely.
Right.
But no, like my buddy I used to play a lot with was a heavy Valdo main.
Hmm.
And like I knew like if I saw him pick Valdo, I was picking Maxi. And we were just gonna be actively mad at each other.
Right. See, I got, and I didn't know this until much later because I don't think I ever really played the campaign of 2 until much later when I owned the game. Because this was like my party game. This is when my
Yeah.
friends came over. That's when we played Soul Calibur. But he got really good with Maxi, so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna get good with Astaroth. And man, I would fucking wreck him, and he'd wreck me. And I play the campaign, and it's like, oh shit, they're rivals. It was
Yeah.
so perfect.
That's the
Astaroth's not
thing
even
is
in
like
this test. That made me sad.
I miss fighting games because I took them way too seriously. Like
Oh yeah,
like I mean, because when I started my love of fighting games was like the 7-Eleven near my house playing, you know, original Mortal Kombat, and then that got replaced with Street Fighter 2 Turbo Machine.
what?
And then it was literally like fist fights. Like like if you try to jump the line or like debo somebody's quarters, like you'd get into literal fist fights in the middle of this goddamn 7-Eleven. The guy would kick us out, and then we'd fight out in the parking lot. So like actual physical conflict with other people was always in my life at the same time I was
Jeez.
getting into fighting games. Because I lived, you know, in fairly bad neighborhoods in the DFW area most of my life as a kid. But yeah, so like I would take this shit way too seriously to the point to where, like I said, violent tendencies would come back out in a lot of cases. Like I've played games that are absolutely frustratingly hard, difficult. Never once have I thrown a controller. Shit would go wrong in a fighting game. I would throw a person.
Jeez.
Like, but again, that was like my natural rage issues I've had my entire life. Like that was like both an outlet and a cause at the same time. Like
Right.
when things were working smoothly, it was an amazing release.
Oh
But
yeah.
when shit went wrong, or I knew I was fucking up, or like I would be up at the cabinet and the guy would like try to kick me in my shin to distract me.
Jeez.
Like if I was starting to get a run on him and I was about to like skunk him, he just fucking like elbow you, kick you in the shin, like hip bump you,
Damn.
like like people used to just do dirty shit to each other, like step on your toes, crazy stuff. But
I never got to that point. Yeah, I've
but
played.
yeah, that was the thing of playing it directly in the room with people. But when I
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
deep with Soul Calibur 2 and Tekken 3, like after like I moved out of that area and I just kind of knew some people here where I live now that were kind of into it. We had a group that would get together a lot. It would be literally like my buddy Chris, who I haven't talked to in years because he moved back up to like Oregon where he was from.
Right.
But like he and I, like I met him, like he worked at a GameStop here, and it was when they still had like the PS2 displays up, or their PS3 was one of the ones that played PS2 games and PS1 games. I said, "Hey, you wanna take a couple L's on some Tekken?" He's like, "Nah, man, you ain't got to like that." And he literally opened up the goddamn display case and put in a used copy of Tekken 3, and nobody was there since it was like a weekday morning.
Yeah.
And like I became friends with this guy because we were just absolute savaging each other on Tekken 3 for like an hour and a half while I was waiting on
Nice.
like my tires to get changed on my car or my truck at the Walmart like right up the road.
I think the
But
only change about this Soul Calibur I don't like is I've played all of them, like even 4 or 5. I love those games. Is there's one weird change they made to Mitsurugi, who's my main, and when you do the vertical, like you used to be able to do like 3 in a row, 3 or 4 in a row,
yeah.
and it was a really solid combo. But now it ends in like a counter strike. So he just kind of does his block thing rather than attack, and it throws me off every fucking time. Because it's just like
Yeah,
smash, smash. Hold on.
because yeah, in this they've added. I want to say Fatal Hit is like a new thing.
Yeah, there's something in there, but again, yeah, there's
Because
a nothing is explained to us really in this demo, which is
yeah,
really throwing
that
me
was the thing of
off.
how disorienting it was to drop in here. It was like
Yeah,
I like if you hear me talk, it's like I have no idea what I'm doing.
like just like when your health bar drops to that last little chunk, I don't know what the fuck's happening. It's so weird.
Also, they've added like meter burns to this,
Yeah,
which I've never actively played like any fighting game that had meter burn.
yeah,
So
that's a
that's
pretty
like
common thing now.
yeah, because like I never really played much of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, it's in Street
Uh,
Fighter 4 as well.
yeah, it's Street Fighter 4. It's been in Soul Calibur for a little bit. It's in Tekken now. But like I stopped playing them essentially. So like I'm curious, but man, these menus for playing online are utter
They're
trash.
bad. They're real bad. You can't switch characters. You have to switch characters with like this weird text menu, and yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
not
just like a
great.
little thumbnail picture of a like an art print, and it's like, oh, which color scheme do you want to use?
I really hope this was like, let's give them a basic menu and some characters and just ship them this network test. They don't need
Yeah,
all the UI. They don't need any of that stuff. This is just a network test. And if that's the case, that's fine. And I think it will be the case because I think Soul Calibur has always done a very good job with their UI and everything. I would be shocked if this was the final UI. But
yeah.
at the same time, I always feel like there should be a big disclaimer like, hey, this looks like shit. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Because
it's like,
then,
hey, this is going to be different when we put it out. But
and not
I
the
want to
whole
say,
like not final product, because that's really
Yeah.
vague. But like, if I was a developer, I would just straight up say like, "This is not the final UI at all. It looks bad. We're sorry. Excuse our dust. Please come back for the final product."
Yeah, the like the length of time I spent in the loading screens
Yeah,
just trying to find an opponent. The music that's playing is like
it's on a loop too.
the
I think.
yeah, it's on a loop, but that music straight up sounds like generic JRPG menu music. It did not sound like Soul Calibur music to me personally. I was like, this is like really way too chill
Yeah,
for like a high intensity fighting game.
I didn't notice that, but I only played like for me, I just played 2 or 3 rounds, and I was like, "All right, this is what I need. I don't need to play anymore because I will play a shitload when I get it." Um, it comes out in like a month, right?
Yeah, it comes out within the next 30 days, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it right away, but
Yeah,
I do need to
I
get it.
don't think I'm gonna buy it personally just because like there's too many other things
Yeah,
already like I'm in the hole for. Like
I got
I
other
went
things
ahead
in
and bought
life. I'm not even talking about video games, just life.
yeah, like I went ahead and bought the pre-order version of the Castlevania Requiem, like the Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood collection
Yeah,
coming out for the PS4 because it's one of those ones where it's like you save $4 if you go ahead and buy it now.
but you know that you're gonna put a lot of time into that.
Yeah, because I love Symphony of the Night. It's one of the all-time greats. I haven't literally played it since the month it came out on the original PlayStation.
Damn,
So it'll be interesting to
that's like a
see how
new
that
game.
goes.
That's like a
Yeah,
whole
it's
new game for
basically a
you,
new game.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah. So like I get to go back in and I know myself like immediate recall is not going to be good, but like once I'm in the moment playing it,
sure.
like that shit like sense memory triggers stuff for me and I'll remember a lot more. But Rondo of Blood I've never played
I've
because
never heard
it's
of it.
well, so it was I want to say originally on like the Sega Saturn
Okay, that could be why I've never
because
heard of it.
Castle Symphony of the Night was also on the Sega Saturn. And it's a slightly different version because Symphony of the Night is a direct sequel to Rondo of Blood.
Oh, okay.
So like the whole meme of what is a man, a miserable little pile of secrets, and
Yeah.
that whole intro for Symphony of the Night of where you fight, Dracula is literally exactly how Rondo of Blood ends.
Oh, okay.
Like that's literally like going from Rogue One into Episode 4, A New Hope.
Gotcha.
Like it's like that direct. They put it out on like the original Wii's Virtual Console, and it got re-released. I want to say in a collection just like this on the PSP way back in the day.
Yeah.
But no, I never got a chance to play it. So, but that comes out the exact same day as fucking Red Dead 2. So
Shit.
who knows when I'm ever gonna play that? Who knows
Jeez.
when I'm ever gonna play Castlevania? Now, once I bought it, I was like, sweet, $16. Fuck yeah, bet. October 26th. Fuck.
Yeah, that does suck.
And I was
Damn.
like, God damn it. But yeah, like I'm super happy to give it a shot. But
I've done
man,
that though. Bought games because it's a little bit cheaper that I know. Because like when you get done with Red Dead, you're like, what's next? Oh shit! I own this.
oh. All right, I need to play like the 80th goddamn Metroidvania
Yeah.
this year because there's been so many goddamn good ones. I'm looking at fucking what is it like Time Spinner just came out.
I don't know what that is. There's too much stuff coming out. Always stuff coming
There's too
out.
many. There's too many good things coming out,
Yeah. And
which is
meanwhile,
the depressing.
you're over here playing Cuphead.
Yeah, I found myself listening to the soundtrack because so I randomly clicked into YouTube. Like this started probably about a month back. I was clicking through YouTube, and one of the recommended things in my feed was the behind the scenes recording for one of the songs for Cuphead.
Oh, that would be cool.
So Studio MDHR, it's like the recording session of, you know, the actual final track. And so you see all these guys in the studio playing, and then you hear the fucking Cuphead music, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm about to play Cuphead again, aren't I?
Right.
And I'd already been thinking about playing Cuphead ever since they announced the DLC coming out next year. And then I found myself listening to the soundtrack while I was at work and hearing the songs and remembering, you know, the boss fights and the levels and wanting to do all this stuff again. And then just on my day off the other day, I marathoned an entire run again of Cuphead, 9 hours straight.
You're a madman. I do want to do a let's play of this with, like I was saying before, with like my brother that I used to play Mega Man X with, because that was like our game. And this is just, it's kind of in that same vein, but you know, Mega Man X being like one of those really hard games back in the day.
Yeah.
And this would, we wouldn't go very far, but it would be just kind of funny to see us try.
Well, yeah, they have the simple mode. So there's like,
That's
you
true.
can choose to play like a slightly less difficult version. They do have the 2-player co-op where, you know, you can have Cuphead and Mugman. And if one of you dies, if you jump up, parry the ghost, you revive them. But, you know, if they get off screen before you do the parry, then you got to wait until you wipe or finish the level. But yeah, man, it's just like, it felt weird playing this again for how much I love it and for how much, like, I think they're doing a really good job with Mega Man 11 since that comes out like tomorrow.
Oh shit!
Or
okay.
I think that comes out Tuesday, the 2nd. But Mega Man is still just so fucking stagnant. It still plays pretty much exactly like every other Mega Man you've ever played.
Right.
It's like they're not trying anything new. Like the gear system, you know, just adds a new layer of like upkeep, and you know, it's just adding like I was annoyed that they kind of simplified some of the stuff I liked out of later Mega Man games for Mega Man 11. Like, they don't have the wall kick. They don't have some of the other things like I really liked. Because I guess, you know, those kind of made many aspects of later Mega Man games a lot easier than old Mega Man games are.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of the Mega Man X games are fairly easy compared to the original 6 Mega Man.
Okay.
Like, it's just like those games are stupidly difficult and punishing for no reason.
Dude, you can get lost just looking at the backgrounds of this game.
Oh, yeah. Especially these, like, actual 3D modeled backgrounds.
God, this game looks so amazing.
Yeah,
Can
like
we have a
music.
Cuphead movie, please?
Well, it wouldn't look as good because they wouldn't animate it correctly.
Oh, Studio MDHR made it.
Yeah, but they only had to do essentially, you know, 48 minutes worth of animation. And not like an hour and a half. And they did it over the course of a couple of years and did a lot of the work themselves and mortgaged their fucking house. Like, had Cuphead not worked out, the fucking Moldenhauer boys would be homeless.
And boy, did it work out.
Yeah. This game sold way more copies than I think anyone expected.
Is this the first game they made?
Yeah. It's the only game they've ever made.
That kind of sucks. Like,
yeah,
whatever's next. I just can't believe it's going to be as good as Cuphead. I hope it is. I hope it's better. It's just like,
because like the thing is like also the guy who composed all the music for this is his first project.
Wow.
As well. Like, he was, you know, a professional musician, and he was like, some of the songs, like you look at the facts and like the trivia, it's like some of the songs he chose chooses to make for some of these areas were literally, oh, hey, he was still doing like masterclass courses at college of like this particular professor musician is here telling you all about, you know, traditional waltzes. So then he
Okay,
uses a traditional style waltz with a different accompaniment to
that's
make
cool.
this theme song for this level. Or hey, he just kind of repurposed like a traditional like anthem for something, or a well-known piece of like, you know, the public domain classical music, rework chunks here and there for things. So, but like the entire product is just so fucking great because he found like a really good like studio group to record it.
Yeah,
So it's like well arranged, well performed, and like so many of the songs just fit so perfectly for the level they're in. Yeah, like there's so many different things of this is like they're all their first project. It's so beyond the pale of what games should be. Oh, this boss, fuck this boss.
this game, the music, all of this stuff is the epitome of people being fucking annoyingly talented.
Yeah,
It's like, get out! You're making me
it's like
feel bad. It is. It is like it's also one of my favorite things to watch. Like I think I've watched 2 playthroughs of it probably, and I typically don't do that. Like I'm not a person that like redoes anything, rewatches anything, replays much of anything, with the exception of games like Risk of Rain because you can just infinitely replay them. But yeah,
yeah,
I love watching playthroughs of this.
but yeah, it was also interesting that this game played differently for me than the first time I played it because I was using my PlayStation controller, not my Xbox controller.
So it played better for you.
Yeah, just because, you know, I'm more comfortable with my
Yeah.
PlayStation controller. I died a lot less than my first run, but I think it honestly took me longer to beat this time than the first time I played it. Because the first time I played it, I took like a break in the middle.
Okay.
So like I did like a chunk, got to a point, kind of rage quit, ate, you know, stopped thinking about Cuphead for a bit, let my brain refresh. The
Yeah.
fucking devil at the end of this, you know, the final boss, took me just about an hour to finish
Damn.
because like I went in with the wrong gear because I was trying a lot of different stuff. Because I played this at launch and the charge shot was just absolutely broken and overpowered. So like you could finish fights a lot easier with, you know, version 1 of Cuphead if I didn't, you know, install any updates. But I guess, you know, you can't download the digital versions anymore without all the updates already included.
Right.
But yeah, so I went in with the wrong stuff and was making certain parts of, you know, the devil fight harder. And then I was just, you know, 8 hours in and fucking tired. And I was just making normal mistakes.
Human mistakes.
Yeah. But man, it was just still such a goddamn good game. Because I'm thinking about, you know, another game similar is Shovel Knight. Because I was also listening to the soundtracks of Shovel Knight and remixes and all this other stuff. The most interesting thing to me about Shovel Knight with the final DLC, because Cuphead and Shovel Knight both have a DLC coming out like early next year,
Right.
or at least early next year for Cuphead, just 2019, or early next year for Shovel Knight. 2019 is all they've given us for the delicious last course for Cuphead.
Yeah.
So who knows when that DLC comes out?
Yeah. It must
And
take them a while to make this stuff.
yeah, just the animation alone takes dozens of hours for the most basic stuff.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, man.
it's worth it. I mean, Cuphead took a long time to come out itself, but
Yeah, but then again, they also like essentially made Cuphead and then Cuphead 2 all in one run because they initially only made this game with 8 bosses
that's
like a Mega
right.
Man game. with none of the platforming levels.
Right.
And then people saw it at trade shows. Like, hey, that's neat. Where's the rest of it? And then they mortgaged their house, and then Microsoft showed up, signed a deal with them. So then they had funding, and that's when they made Cuphead what it is. But yeah, the most interesting thing to me was Shovel Knight with the King of Cards DLC coming out next year. Is the composer Jake Kaufman is making new music for that DLC, and I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, I've pretty much decided I'm gonna get Shovel Knight as soon as it goes on sale.
Yeah, because I have a feeling once the run up for King of Cards happens, I'm actually going to go back in and just marathon all of the campaigns of Shovel Knight. Do another run of the regular Shovel Knight, finally finish Plague Knight, actually do Spectre Knight, and then wrap it all up with King of Cards and call it quits for old Shovel Knight until they, Yacht Club Games make something new.
Yeah.
Also, Shovel Knight has officially now basically ended up in every single Smash clone because they just added him to Brawlhalla. He was in Rivals of Aether, I want to say.
He's in Smash as well, isn't he?
He's in Smash as an assist trophy.
Yeah.
He's not playable. The fucks.
That would be pretty cool. Well, fucking Shovel Knight's getting its own Brawl game, so...
Yeah, they're adding a brawler into the DLC with fucking King of Cards, yeah. So, I guess they really like Smash.
Yeah, I mean, I think the character just lends himself well to it. Just like Mega Man would. Man, Cuphead for Smash Brothers.
Also, that reminds me, there's another fighting game that came out recently that's not a Smash type. That's just like a regular like fighting game that also has like this weird 3D model like representation of Shovel Knight, like as a full size man.
Yeah,
that's super weird, but he looks cool.
What is it?
God damn it, it's not Fighting EX Slayer. It's something else.
Blade Strangers.
Blade Strangers. That's it.
I don't know what Blade Strangers is, but I'm gonna find out. Let's see.
Blade Strangers has a couple other random indie game characters in there, and some of its own original characters.
Let's see. Yep, Shovel Knight, Blade Strangers. Did you really name your title Cup Forehead?
Yeah, because the camera's just right up on top of my giant forehead.
Oh, okay, so it's not how I thought it went. Okay. Blade Strangers. Now it's like Shovel Knight. Yeah, he does look very humanoid, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's Isaac is in it? What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Like I said, there's a couple characters in there from other games. I want to say maybe one of the Skullgirl characters is in there.
Coming summer 2018 to fucking place. Oh, Switch too.
Yeah.
What is Blade Strangers? Well, we're going down this rabbit hole.
Oh, it's got the Cave Story guy because it's made by Nicalis. So it's like got all of the things published by Nicalis, like Cave Story and potentially like maybe even V.
Oh, hell yeah. Why not?
Well, it's got a bunch of random characters from the Nicalis lore. Some weird characters from games that I don't think have ever been outside of Japan.
Yeah.
But I know the Cave Story person, Isaac, and Shovel Knight, because they sent out a demo to like Kickstarter backers, I want to say.
Okay.
Or to like media outlets, because I saw a bunch of people trying it out, and that's where I remember seeing it. But
is Curly from Blade Cave Story?
I think that's the little girl, the little sister, the main character you play as.
Okay. This looks really interesting.
Oh no, that's the robot character. Yeah, that's one of the characters later in the game from Cave Story. Cause see,
Okay.
that was the original version look.
Yeah. This looks super interesting. Coming summer 2018. Yeah.
I also this makes me think of that girl with the backpack is from a different game too. That Kawase, I forget. I don't think I ever played that.
Oh,
But
Gunvolt.
Gunvolt, that's what it was. Wait,
Noko
isn't
Shovel
Gunvolt
Knight.
like a spinoff of
I don't know a lot
Mighty Number
about.
Nine?
Oh, I don't think Gunvolt was before that.
Well, no, there is a spinoff game that has a name kind of like that. That is in the Mighty Number Nine universe.
Huh.
That came out after Mighty Number Nine. That's just a drastically better game because Mighty Number Nine is a giant pile of shite.
If man, it is. We don't have time to get into that right now. Man, that I refunded that motherfucker. I called Microsoft and had them refund me that. That game is not good.
It's just below average at best.
Yep, and that's all we're gonna say about it. Because you've also played Red Dead Redemption, the original.
Yeah, I realize I need to go ahead and get started because I want to play through it again to be ready for when Redemption 2 comes out. So I'm, much more refreshed on, the story, the characters, the world. I just love westerns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
I wish I wasn't watching this gameplay video because it's gonna make me want to play it. I don't own it.
hey, the digital code I saw was on sale for like $9
Yeah, don't tell me that.
from a website.
Don't tell me that.
But yeah, man, like the great thing about going back to a Rockstar game, like right when they were hitting the stride of the real open world like randomness
Yeah.
of like ambient, experiences. So I went to Thieves Landing, which is kind of like their kind of like waterfront New Orleans kind of like small knockoff town
Yeah.
in this, and that's where you go to find a tailor to find parts for different suits, for different outfits. I went there because I opened up the quest to be able to get the elegant suit, which lets you cheat at poker and blackjack.
Right.
So I went, bought the suit, put it on, went over to the little saloon, started to play a game of poker, and I knock everybody out. I'm on like maybe the next to last hand before I win and knock out the final guy. And I've been cheating up a storm the entire time. Then all of a sudden, on the last time I went to cheat to swap cards, I'm doing the little bounce, the little thing in the bar, dodging things. Like it's just like old school Tony Hawk, like grind balance. You keep the little thing centered on the little bar to stay successful. I start doing just fine, and all of a sudden the guy just calls me out for cheating. I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, like I was doing the thing. What do you mean I'm cheating?" So then, when you get called out for cheating, you typically go out and you have a draw. So
Right.
like it's just me and this gentleman out in the street now, and we have like a quick draw competition and we fight. So I'm like, all right, I was the asshole here. I reach for my gun, I pull it out, it's in slow-mo. I shoot his hand so it makes him drop the gun so I don't have to kill him. And you also get fame for it. You get better stats in the world if you don't kill them and shoot the gun out of their hand. You also get some bonus points if you shoot their hat off first.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, but once you get good at it, it's pretty easy. But then I shoot the guy, he drops his gun, and then back into the left, like the fucking Zapruder film, I just see this guy who was watching the thing. He just all of a sudden pulls out his gun,
Oh shit.
shoots the dude I just shot in the fucking duel, runs off, and starts this whole like gunfight through the middle of town. And I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? So in the middle of all this chaos, I just walk over to the guy that got shot, who called me a cheater, and just looted his body and skipped out on town. like, like the weird ambient like experiences of I was in Armadillo, like the starter town you wind up at, and this posse starts rolling through town, and they're firing their guns in the air like yeah, yeah, and they're dragging a guy behind their horse on a rope, and they're clearly the bad guys. And so, like, they're almost about to run me over. So I pull out my gun and shoot one of the dudes. And apparently, they were the good guys. Because then everybody in the town just turns and starts shooting me. And I have a bounty on my head. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, like just everybody just suddenly turned hostile. I'm getting shot from like 4 different directions on the ground. And then by the fucking 5 dudes on the horses that are still alive. I was like, this is a lynching. I was just trying to stop a lynching. Why? Why am I the bad guy now? Like they were. I don't know, man. Like it's just crazy. Like the weird experiences I've already had with the like 3 or 4 hours I've put in on my start.
Our third co-host has showed up, and she has opinions.
Yeah, she has opinions.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me more. No. You done? Okay.
That was the fuck you.
I have a very talkative little kitten. Now she's just hitting me in the head with her tail. That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go away now. Go away. Go away. Unfortunately, now I have a chair that she can sit on the back of. My other chair she couldn't. So yeah, now she wants to be involved in the show. Okay. Quiet. Quiet now. Okay, good. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. But yeah, man, it's man, this game's 10 years old now at this point, but it still
looks good.
Still looks pretty good, especially with the Xbox One enhancements. If I had an Xbox One X, they've added 4K textures.
Yeah.
So it looks even better. But yeah, man, it's just like the skyboxes still look absolutely great. Like going out at night and just looking up into the sky.
Yeah.
And the feeling of like if you sit at a campfire, because you pop out a campfire when you're out in the woods, and that's like your safe place, and you can swap out outfits. That's how you fast travel.
Yeah.
And you just like pan the camera up while you're sitting there waiting, look up at the sky at night with that little campfire light on you, just hearing the music. Bill Elm and Woody Jackson, like the soundtrack for Red Dead Redemption is like one of the greatest like achievements of how a soundtrack should work for a game I've still ever come across. Because the system in place they have of like making all these different little stems, these little pieces of music that are queued up to start up at different points based on the actions you're doing. So like when a guy pulls a gun, you just all of a sudden hear it transition into now it's the fighting music, and it slowly fades out of the other music and picks up like if you get on foot or on your horse, you know, like also it's just like so fucking good. Like just the quality of the music.
Yeah.
And it's so good going back and listening to this, playing this game.
And we're not even getting into like, because we don't have freaking time, just the amount of gameplay, like the cool weapons, the cool world, the cool characters. As always, Rockstar nails it.
Yeah.
When was the last time Rockstar made a shitty game?
I mean, even if we want to count like table tennis was still really
table tennis is good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think potentially like the last shitty game, we're talking like maybe even before they were, well, State of Emergency. There's no excusing State of Emergency.
I like State of Emergency. I thought that
game was it was fun at the time, but it was just like, oh, hey, this is just kind of like the State of Emergency was the table tennis of its time.
Sure.
Because it was a proof of concept for their engine to get it running, and then they made GTA 3 and changed the world.
Yeah. Yeah, they they don't do anything half-assed. They don't. And like I know, like some people are upset because I think online for Red Dead's coming out after, right?
Yeah, but they want to make sure their shit works. I mean,
Yeah. This
I'd
is
rather play the fucking game and have
sure,
plenty of time before I go spend time online.
but this is one of those funny things. Like I was talking to my brother today because he was complaining about the exotic drops in Destiny, and I told him, and give it 2 weeks or so, they'll fix it. It'll be fixed, and in a month or so, you'll forget you ever had that problem. Like in a year, people are still going to be playing Red Dead and they'll be playing Red Dead online and it'll be like, remember when we didn't have online for like 2 months or whatever the fuck it's going to be? It's like, no, did that happen? Like
Well,
Grand Theft Auto
also
online. How long did
they're
everybody have to
still
wait for that?
supporting Grand Theft Auto Online for the next few
Yeah,
years. Like they're not just like stopping because they put out Red Dead. Because
right.
Red Dead's never going to be as successful online as GTA. It's just not like the audience these games speak to are so different.
Right, I'm clipping that audio out.
Well, because like I said, like so much
I want to agree
of
with you, but it's fucking
yeah.
Rockstar. Like they
Yeah, don't
might
get me
figure
wrong.
it out.
I'm not saying it's the quality of the experience.
Right.
I'm saying it's just like the
Yeah.
weird monetization of hey, we added fucking lowriders and a goddamn flying DeLorean and
Yeah. And the different
Harrier
audience.
jets. Yeah, also, yeah, like I said, there are plenty of people that just for whatever reason will never want to even touch the Western aesthetic. It looks old, looks dumb. I want, real life.
Well, this game, I mean, Red Dead is very similar to Grand Theft Auto, just as much as it is very different. Like, it's an excellent open world game, excellent guns, excellent characters, excellent world building, but you take out the cars and everything, and it just becomes drastically different.
Yeah. The whole pace of how you
Yeah.
interact with the world changes. Like
How
there's less people in the world to deal with.
how big are the worlds like Grand Theft Auto 4 compared to Red Dead, I wonder?
Red Dead was much larger, but again, there's less in it because it's
Right.
these landscapes.
Big ass desert, yeah. Holy shit. You're riding this minecart. I don't know if I ever did this.
Oh yeah, that was one of the main story missions you had to get to.
I spend so much time fucking around in these games.
Well, what's weird is like games like this. It's always been weird to me with like how laser focused I get sometimes in open world games, and like how efficient I've got at playing them.
I wish I
Is
could.
it's like I don't think I always kind of finish like somehow inherently I've learned ways to do just enough of the open world stuff to like keep well above where I should need to be to continue on with the game. Like I always stay like well upgraded, well equipped.
Yeah.
I got the good stuff. I'm not ever hitting like a weird dead point of nothing to do or things are like too hard to complete because I've got shit gear or whatever. Like I don't know. So I have a feeling sometime in the next week I'll be done with Red Dead. As far as the story goes, but I know
Yeah.
I'll probably go back in and bullshit. I've got the DLC for the Undead Nightmare. I don't know if I want to try that again.
I've never played that.
Oh, that one's great.
I
Like
heard that's like the best DLC ever made.
so the thing is that was another game they never got to finish that they then repurposed like that and made like they had all this production work for a zombie game
Yeah.
and never had like the full crux of how to make it in the full game.
Huh.
Never got the okay from the bosses up front. So then they were able to repurpose a lot of that stuff to then make a really good, new open world version of this. So it's the same map, same characters for the most part.
Right.
It's just, a lot of the animals are now replaced with different randomized versions of zombies.
Right.
And they add the 4 horses of the apocalypse instead of the 4 horsemen. So like you can go out there and capture like a skeleton horse, a plague horse, a horse that's on fire, war. They added like actual like mythological creatures to go hunt down. It's like you go down to Mexico and you hunt the chupacabra.
Huh.
Like one of the saddest fucking things I've ever done in a game is the Yeti, the Sasquatch
Yeah.
hunt. So like you run across a couple different Sasquatches out in the world, and you shoot them because you just think they're a beast. And like the most heartbreaking thing, you find the last one, and you come up to this tree, and the thing's just sitting down with his back against a tree, and he's just sobbing, and he's just like, "They're all dead. My family's dead. I'm the last of my kind."
He says that?
Yeah, the fucking
that's gotta be
Sasquatch
jarring as fuck.
Oh my god, dude! It hurt so bad. I felt like such a fucking piece of garbage.
Why are you speaking? You're a fucking animal.
They're just a sentient race that was
You're
on
an
hard
animal,
times.
man. You killed my people.
He's like,
oh my
all
god.
All right, human, end it, please, so I can be with my family. So you
oh
can walk away
god.
and be a real dick, or do him the fucking courtesy now. Be a real man and end it for him.
Dude, I've always, like, whenever I've watched cartoons and stuff, and, like, the animal starts talking, and they're like, oh, wow, you can talk? That's not how I would react. I would probably just stomp its fucking head. like, oh, shit! Yeah. Like, what the hell? That would be terrifying.
This kind of reminds me of a conversation I had earlier today when I was at work. I was talking to a guy. It was him and his buddy. They had both, like, started playing a little bit more Breath of the Wild recently.
Sorry.
And both of them did not realize, like, they were talking about gathering a bunch of fairies and doing dumb shit so they have, free revives.
Yeah.
And I told them, do you know what makes you really feel like an absolute piece of shit? They're like, what? When you throw the fairies into the fucking oven to make potions, they didn't know you could use them as an ingredient.
Damn, I didn't know that either.
So then, like, the music starts and you hear that and you just see the fucking fairy bouncing up and down in the boiling water with all the other ingredients.
Oh my god!
It's like, oh no, what do you mean? Like, yeah, because they make some really good potions, but realistically, they're better to just keep anyway for like the free revive.
Oh,
but yeah,
sure.
like, it's just like so sad. You're just getting sexually assaulted by like the older sister, I guess, the Great Fairy.
Yeah,
and then you're just taking their friends, their family, and throwing them in the oven with some fucking Hinox toenails and a bokoblin gut to make some potion or whatever. But yeah, they did not know you could fucking burn the fairies alive and fucking juice. And you just see the happy fairies. Hey, listen! Just boiling alive. Like the screams of a lobster.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Damn. Well, I think it's about time we get into some news. We're still somehow running long. So, I think the first little bit of news, because, like, I'm a Minecraft fan, but you're not, is they announced Minecraft Dungeons. It's gonna be some kind of top-down dungeon crawler. But Minecraft has shit combat, so it's like I don't know.
Interesting to see.
I don't know how to feel about this. I think best case scenario for this is I hope, and they would be stupid not to do this, but I hope that people can build these dungeons and then transport them to this game. And maybe even, bring in your gear and stuff from the original game. And that dude's I haven't watched this yet. That dude's a fucking wizard. Why is that not in Minecraft proper? Like, I hope maybe some of these classes will work their way into Minecraft proper. Which would be cool. I'm happy they're expanding Minecraft. You also get pandas now. Yeah, I guess pandas are a thing. Whatever. That's cool. More animals are always cool. There's a big hammer, there's like 2 little daggers and a wizard staff.
Yeah.
Why isn't this shit in regular Minecraft? Sorry.
Yeah. Also, going back to something we talked about previously, crossplay.
Yeah.
Like people were, thinking, Fallout 76 is gonna have crossplay, but those are literally same day said, hey, no crossplay is ever coming to Fallout 76. People are wanting, maybe, if Sony opens it up, maybe Blackout and Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 4 will have crossplay. There's been no statement from there, but Rocket League and Minecraft are probably the most realistic next steps in crossplay because they both already have systems in place to handle it.
But
like
also,
those games are already built with that in mind.
I feel like Mojang is the type of company where
Mojang.
Is it Mojang? I've always called it Mojang.
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced, Mojang.
Oh, whoops. Mojang.
Oh well. GIF, eat my anus.
Yeah, right. Like they're still dedicating, I think, a lot of resources to Minecraft. Clearly, if they're making like a new game, but they also have the vast resources to be like, all right, yeah, we'll figure out crossplay. But meanwhile, Bethesda is still just trying to make Fallout 76. Like they're more worried about let's build this fucking game.
Because the thing is, it's not like I was mentioning how like the crossplay works for Fortnite. It's not like they're just filling in lobbies with any. It's not like they're just dropping everything in and mixing it all up in a blender. Like
you can't just turn it on. You have to figure out things.
Your back end systems have to have something in place.
Right, so but like even Epic, like Fortnite, is as good as done. They could have a team dedicated to figuring out crossplay. Bethesda's a long fucking way from that. Even as big a company as they are, is it even worth it for Fallout 76? Maybe.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, Fortnite was built from day one for crossplay.
Sure.
Because it was already in there for PC and PS4, Xbox and PC. Like from day one, before Battle Royale was even a thing, when it was just save the world. You could play, you could play that, with your friends on PC back then. Rocket League was built from the ground up for cross-platform, PC and PS4. That one actually works like just filling the hopper, unless you toggle only match make my platform. Rocket League is about to introduce, I think it's called like Rocket ID or Rocket Account, where they're about to actually have an account system that transfers like your progress and stuff across all your platforms. That
would be ideal.
They delayed it. I remember it being a thing, and then I remember seeing the news article sometime like earlier this month that it got delayed. So they still need to work on it. But I think it probably got delayed around the same time that the initial talks are probably in place to okay the crossplay thing.
Yeah.
So maybe that they're having to stall it to actually get all that up and running from launch. That now your PS4, Xbox, PC stuff, will all be together again. But in the case of Minecraft, the PS3 and PS4 versions now just aren't getting updated anymore because the most recent update was the Play Together one. That's just not available on the PS4. So if Minecraft gets the okay for crossplay, now all those people will potentially also now get the new updates. Because I don't think any of these updates are coming out currently to the Sony platforms.
Yeah.
So they're just missing content already until I guess maybe they get an update.
Something. But speaking of Sony, unless you had anything more to add about the crossplay thing, because I think we already talked about that quite a bit.
No, like I said, it's just that one thing for Minecraft there. That'll be interesting to hopefully the people who care about Minecraft, if they get the approval from Sony for that, Mojang will throw it out. Now, the Minecraft one's trickier because you know how the Minecraft crossplay works.
Crossplay?
Yeah, the crossplay, because you can play PC, Xbox, Switch all together currently on Minecraft.
Yeah, I thought you said cosplay.
No, crossplay.
No, crossplay. I think it just works. Like you just play like Fortnite.
No, you sign into Xbox Live.
Oh, right. That's right.
So that's a much trickier thing
Oh, I
for
forgot about
Sony.
that. Even on
Is
Switch, right? Switch has
on
some.
Switch,
Okay,
you
my
get
bad.
Minecraft.
I forgot about
You get
that.
Xbox achievements playing the Switch version of Minecraft.
Correct.
But so now again, that's no different than like linking your Twitch and your Discord is essentially how it really works. But that may be a step too far for Sony currently. That one I'm interested, but Sony's not had any issues with all the other third party accounts. Like I've got like my Ubisoft Club, my Activision, my Blizzard account. Like I've got everything else in the world linked to my Sony account.
Yeah.
So I don't think that'll be a real issue, a one-time sign-in just to have a back-end, friends list to matchmake with.
Absolutely. That's how it should be.
But yeah, so I think I know what you're about to bring up now
Yeah.
in regards to Sony.
And you are the Sony guy, so you can kind of take the lead on this.
So I guess we're going to talk about no PSX this year.
Yeah. Which they usually announce pretty big stuff at PSX, don't they?
Well, so that's the thing is last year it wasn't like a mini E3. It was more of just like like a PAX conference of like people on stage talking, and a lot of people were upset because all the years prior to this of PSX, it had been like insane get hype moments.
Okay.
Now, I've talked to you before about like my crusade against both nostalgia and hype, because those two drugs get abused so much and lead to so much disappointment and anger in the world, especially in the world of video games. Like we're animals. I don't understand like how we as gamers in this community are so fucking like out of control with these. Like, but so there's the meme of they're not doing PSX this year because last time at PSX they said, hey, PSN name changes, where we're hoping that by the next time there's a PSX, this won't be a question anymore. I love that meme.
I saw that. That made me laugh so, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Sony guy.
And then there's like the thinking, like the you don't have to answer the question if you never do another PSX. But realistically, within the last 2 years, like the issue last year and the issue this year was that they've already dumped some heavy duty first party stuff out there. These games take multiple years. They've got games, coming out next year, but they've already kind of shown them both at, Gamescom, E3, and then also some of them showed up at Tokyo Game Show this year, which happened like a week or two ago. I mean, there's not really that much else out of these games that are coming soon that they can really break out to bring. And if they're not far enough along in any of their other developments, people, they don't like their statement that they don't want to, disappoint fans, rings pretty true, just knowing like the volume of output they've had in the last 2 years and the fucking quality of games they've put out there. Like just, Spider-Man and God of War this year alone are fucking absolutely insane.
Right. And
but
they still
also,
got The Last of Us Part 2, and that Ghost of Tsushima game looks crazy, and isn't
Days Gone is the one I mentioned. Like that's one of those ones everyone's sleeping on. Days Gone.
Isn't the Guillermo del Toro Kojima game exclusive to PlayStation?
That's like the Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a PS4 game only. Yeah, that's
so
being paid for directly by Sony.
There's so much shit. And
they've got Dreams, which is, the
Dreams
successor for Little Big Planet. It's that studio, Media Molecule. it's a game where you build other games inside of it.
Yeah. And Sean Layden even said uh, uh, on why they're not doing it. He said we don't want to set expectations really high and then not deliver on it. Of course,
Yeah,
doesn't
because
necessarily mean we won't end this year with big PlayStation news. There are still the Game Awards, for example. If it wants to put out some new trailers and announce some release. Okay, that's a weird quote. I don't think that's right.
yeah. Now the thing is, that's kind of what happened last year. Is like they had some really interesting like
Yeah.
interviews with people and like cool breakdowns and some stuff, but the fucking drug addict showed up for the hype.
Right, and I feel like
And
that always happens, right? Like there's these press conferences or like the Game Awards and or like the fucking Nintendo Directs. We see it all the time. People are like, "Well, I didn't get what I wanted to get out of that. They didn't announce
yeah,
anything I wanted." Well, fuck off. They're not going to announce all their giant games every single time they speak to us. So this
these
time
games take like 3 to 5 years to make if you want the good ones you're after.
I feel
I mean,
like if PlayStation did the PSX, it would be a big deal. They would have some really awesome stuff, but it sounds like they wouldn't announce anything new. So they're like, instead of giving you guys that high of the hype and you just being disappointed, we just won't do it. That kind of makes
yeah,
sense.
because yeah, like last year at PSX, they did have a massive breakout of a lot of like actual on hand time with games that hadn't come out yet. So there was like way more chances for you as a person going to PSX last year to go actually try out some of these games. But
Yeah.
when they said up front before they even did PSX, when they announced that there's not going to be a big conference, people are already fucking pissed. It's like, well, then why
Right.
are we going to PSX? Like, you're going there because it's a community event. It's like an RTX. It's like a PAX. It's like
Yeah.
fans of this thing are going there to hang out with each other and party and celebrate. But there's that fucking internet hype machine, the clickbait crowd, the fucking drug addicts like Tim Geddes that are out there. Like, 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 I don't know Tim Geddes personally, but like the look on his face of pure excitement, like the hype is what that man wants.
Yeah.
Like nothing ever lives up to his expectations,
I
and
didn't.
then he's always kind of disappointed with everything, but then immediately fucking tapping that vein, the
Right.
next direct, the next announcement. And I was like, hey, what works for you, man? Like,
That's why I feel like I don't really get hyped for anything. Like I right now I have a mild amount of hype for like the Swindle and Katamari. But like Katamari I'm hyped for because I know I love that game. The Swindle looks like something I would dig. Yeah, I don't think I have any kind of hype levels like that. I don't think I
well,
ever really
also
do.
to be fair, I've known a lot of people that have started getting way more excited for like smaller experiences
Yeah.
because they're less of a commitment. It's like, especially, for yourself, you've got a child on the way.
Yeah.
There goes a massive chunk of your time until you can kind of get that to a manageable point. But that'll be probably, 2 years before you can have like more of your regular gaming experiences.
Yeah, I'm looking
Except
forward
for,
to like some of the stuff on Switch because I always see pictures of like dads with a baby and like the Switch is kind of like behind the baby.
yeah. Or like they're playing with, the Joy-Con in their right hand and like
Yeah,
rocking like the little thing with their left hand.
that'll be
But
me.
yeah, speaking of Tim Geddes, the reason why we brought this up is the guys from Kind of Funny. Well, Greg Miller just kind of fucking shot a shot. He's like, hey, game devs, I want to do a conference for you guys to replace, PSX because we like games, we like you, we want you to be able to have a platform to, show your games. Send us whatever you've got, behind the scenes stuff, trailers, breakouts. If you want to go, in depth or just, tease a little bit, we're here for you. Because they're not gonna, be hosting like an actual giant event people go to.
Yeah, somebody even
There,
asked in the chat that day, was like, "This is a thing we can go to." No, no, you're not coming here.
this will basically be, the kind of funny guys doing a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, so the thing is like the other thing to think about PSX is like the amount of fucking money it costs to host an event like that. Like that's the thing that kind of came up in like the whole situation of like the fans just wanting the thing they wanted when like the Telltale situation happened. Like, if they really love the game, they just work on it and finish it for free. I was like, you fucks clearly just don't understand like the cost of any of this stuff. And like we're talking like multiple millions of dollars to host PSX every year.
Oh
And
yeah.
if you don't have, enough to show anybody to kind of justify like the ticket prices, they sell tickets to it, but
yeah,
you almost never make all your money back on your tickets.
and
Those are just kind of like buoying the cost and
absolutely.
justifying it.
And Sony is a publicly traded company, right?
Yeah.
So they have stockholders they have to report to. So if the stockholders are reading all these reports about like, well, I was a fucking waste of time. Like, if you're a stockholder, you're like, what the fuck did you do that for? No one cares.
Yeah, it's just bad news bears all around.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of funny, guys. I don't want to say, because it sounds like I'm saying this is a bad thing, but they're taking advantage of it, and it's not a bad thing. It's a fucking brilliant thing. But when you say stuff like that, it's like, oh yeah, they are. Fuck those guys. They're taking advantage and trying to make themselves more popular. Yeah, that's their fucking business. Like,
but you're talking about guys that went every year and were a part of PSX.
Right.
Because, they've been so big in the PlayStation community. Well, Greg Miller specifically, he's been at every single one of them, like in a, like if not a coverage point, like the last 3, he was actually on stage, like hosting, and like doing interviews. Like he was the guy who asked Sean Layden the question about PSN name changes. That's part of the meme of why PSX was canceled this year.
Shit, I've watched Sony stuff just because Greg's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this will be really exciting. I'm excited because I want to know, like, are we going to get new games? It's going to be indie games. It's not going to be anything crazy. But
well, it could be. I mean, they have pretty good relationships with a lot of people now. So this comes up, after the Game Awards.
Right.
So they could potentially,
I don't think we're going to get anything from like EA or Bethesda or anything. Well, I say that, maybe Bethesda.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. I don't know anything.
Well, like, they have a good standing with like Pete Hines.
Yeah.
The lead market manager guy for all of Bethesda. I mean, it really is like one of the tweets Greg has there I saw earlier today was just like a screen cap of his inbox on his iPhone of just countless emails he's just been working through trying to deal with, because a lot of people have hit him up. There's a lot of people he's interfaced with over the years. This could actually be a really interesting thing. Even if it sucks and it fails, it'll be an experience.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I said, it's just going to be, obviously, like, there's people, somebody even tweeted him, he retweeted it. First time I've ever seen you guys on my news feed, Kinda Funny Vids, Game Over Greggy. The Kinda Funny Game Showcase hype is real. So, yeah, I mean, it's good for them. Good all around. I'm excited because I want to see how this goes, because it might be really good for gaming. I'm just excited whenever Kinda Funny is successful. And this is, like Kinda Funny Live. The first one of that was amazing. And this hopefully, I mean, almost certainly will be amazing. So I think it's good all around. I don't see this failing at all.
Also, this is a potential good platform for a lot of smaller games to get a showcase. That now that they've got news buzz on the event itself, if they get a well produced, put together trailer to show. Now they've got, a couple thousand people that just saw this game. Many of those people will be people from other gaming outlets that'll potentially cover that game. And you might see now breakout on IGN, Polygon, GameSpot, all these places because of something, this conference got to show. And that's really
Yeah.
exciting.
So one last thing I want to bring up, because I completely forgot about it, but I did play another game this week, and normally I would wait until next week, but I enjoyed this game and love this game so much I'm going to talk about it right now if you're cool with that.
Sure.
I'm just going to quickly go over it because I'm tired as fuck and still got to edit this whole thing. So this week, shit, the last few days have been extremely rough for me. I actually lost my grandfather last night, as you know, and the whole process of him being sick and then eventually passing away over the last few days, I played a game that was very emotional. Why is it sideways? Hold on. Why is this video? It's a game called Florence. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, it's a hard feels game.
Yeah, it is. And man, I don't typically get into games like this. I did play and enjoy a normal lost phone, and that's another incredible game. But this game in particular, and as well as a normal lost phone, is a mobile game. I don't think this was originally a mobile game, but it is now.
No, it was originally a mobile game.
It was
Florence.
okay. So they ported it to like PSP or something.
No, Florence is like from the last year or two. It's really new.
I know like Greg Miller and all them are big fans of it. That's why I ended up buying it, because they are kind of designed for it.
Yeah.
But this game is all about love and a breakup, and just dealing with life and things like that. It took me like an hour and a half to complete. It's sideways again.
Yeah.
It's just the way that people are making this. There's tons of little puzzles like this one in particular, where you're adjusting those bars at the bottom, trying to figure out because you just got into like a little accident. But right here, this is like one of my favorite parts. You're having this conversation with Krish. You are playing Florence, and you have this really not complicated puzzle, but you do got a lot of little parts. It's not difficult, but there's lots to it. And the more you get into this conversation, the easier it gets. And you're like, oh shit, it's becoming easier for them to talk. And like that, it's so neat. Eventually, the puzzle, now it's 3 pieces, and next it's probably going to be 2 pieces, and then it's 1 piece, and you're just throwing these pieces up there because it's so easy to talk now. And it's just such a lovely game. And it does, small spoilers, it takes a darker turn, and I'm actually not even going to play any more of this video.
Yeah.
But man, like all of the puzzles that you do in the meantime building up to the turn eventually turn with you. Like you do them again, but in a kind of reverse fashion or a different fashion. And you should play it with audio. I did play with audio because the music is absolutely fantastic. And man, there's not a lot to it as far as like dialogue and stuff goes. It's very minimal. It's all done through images and kind of symbolism, and it's such a lovely game. But while I was playing this game, it got to the saddest part. I got the news that my grandpa was going to the hospital. It was just like, really? Like,
yeah, like I'm already hitting the feels. Now you're just tearing me asunder.
Yeah. And obviously, video game feels and real life feels are very different, but when they happen at the same time, oh man.
That's a hard collision.
Also, I just want to point out, you're right. This game, it gives you the feels, and I use that term as a person who fucking hates that term, but it's accurate.
Yeah.
I love little games like this that I get a kind of a complete story in one sitting. Um, did you just real quick? Did you ever finish or start? Shit, the robot subway game, the detective game on Switch.
Oh, yeah, the subsurface circular.
Yes.
Yeah,
How long was it?
it's really good.
But how long was it?
Oh, how long? Maybe like hour and a half, 2 hours, if
Shit.
that.
Okay, I'm gonna play that. I'm just gonna restart because I don't remember what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, because it's also got a lot of branching paths
Yeah.
and a couple different versions of endings.
Okay.
So
And
it's
Florence,
meant to be shorter.
yeah, and Florence isn't a game you can necessarily replay over and over. It's a short experience, but it's like for me, this is up there with like What Remains of Edith Finch. Like it's just such a simple game, but the story is told so well. I love it. This is one that I would never expect to love a game like this. And yes, it's a game. I know there's people out there that say, well, it doesn't have a failure state. Fuck off. That's a topic for another day, though.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else before we wrap this up?
Not really. I'm just really excited to wake up tomorrow and get back on the Red Dead because I started to hit a good spot of things starting to escalate in the story and more of the world opening up, more and more stuff to do. Got my
Yeah.
lasso so I can capture criminals alive, make that money.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, it's good times. I I randomly when I was leaving Thieves Landing after the incident of the poor guy that accused me of cheating that I disarmed in a duel and he got
Yeah.
murdered when I was leaving town. One of the random events of like this woman was being abducted and there's just a guy with a woman tied up over his shoulder just running down this road for no reason and like you're just running out towards the swamps carrying a woman. Help! I'm being abducted. Help! Help! So I run and I just catch up to the guy and he's just just chugging along, paying nobody any mind. Like guys on horses are riding by and they're just not even looking at him. Like one of those weird, awkward, like old open world game experiences.
Yeah.
So then I pull out my gun, I just shoot him in the leg. So he falls down, gets stumbles, and the lady falls down. And he starts to get back up and pull out his gun. So I hit him with the lasso, tie him up, and I
Damn.
untied the lady. And she was like, "Oh, thank you," blah blah blah. And she walks off and goes back into town. So then I was like, "All right, sir, we're gonna have to handle this." And I open up the inventory, put my bandana on, so I'm anonymous. And just while the guy's tied up on the ground, I just fucking put a bullet in the back of his skull and just walk away.
Damn.
I'm like, no lawman coming out here, boy.
Fucking
Also,
brutal.
randomly, you come across one of the other events of like a sheriff like was in like they had like a carriage and like something happened and like the horse derailed and the inmates start trying to run away. And so you see these two guys running and you can either kill them or capture them and bring them back to the police, the cop guy.
Yeah.
So these two guys in this area, right before I went into town, like I lasted them, dragged them back, dropped them by the cop. The sheriff went, caught the other guy, dragged him back, put him down. They're tied up. The fucking sheriff just fucking bang, bang, just shoots them while they're dead on the ground and fucking just runs off, I was like, what a savage.
Goddamn.
Yeah, man, it's just so fun. The wacky experiences in games like that.
Oh, I'm
I
sure
can't wait to have more of them.
we'll talk more about that next week probably, and of course I'm sure we'll talk a shitload about Red Dead 2 when it comes out.
Yeah, the new gameplay trailer, 8 a.m. tomorrow Central Time for me,
Yeah.
so 9 a.m. for you.
I'll have
When
to
you
check
wake
that
up,
out.
when you wake up in the morning, we'll have more breakdowns of the
Yeah.
actual world of Red Dead.
Hell yeah.
See those shrinking horse testicles.
No. No, we don't
You
need to
know,
see that.
there's going to be the 10-hour time-lapse YouTube video of the horse testicles shrinking and
Oh,
expanding.
right. Thank you for listening to the Future Gamers podcast. Troll, where can they find you?
Just Trollbeard_. I'm on most things. Twitter. You want to hit me up on PSN. I play a lot of games. On Twitch.
All right, and I am Twitter I am Twitter.
I am become Twitter, destroyer of memes.
Oh, I am on Twitter as @BestintheRealm. Facebook is BestintheRealm Gaming. Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, BestintheRealm. And of course, you can find Trollbeard, myself, our normal co-host Blackbeard Bob, and the Larp Brothers, and so much more on FewTrueVillains.com. That's FewTrueVillains.com. Thank you so much for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.